All right, welcome in Packers. Something a little different today. We're gonna do a little tier list for you, all our unique mons. This was something that our boy Applejuice had cooked up. Gonna say hi.
Yeah, hello. Uh, you should probably recognize my name. I yap on the Discord all the time, but it's Applejuice here to debate, or in a lot of cases, probably agree with Timmy on some rankings of our uniques. So
Yeah, I
we'll
think
see how this goes.
it'll be good. If you aren't familiar with Applejuice for whatever reason, he has the Pack Synergy guide in the guide section of the Discord, which is like essentially the Pokemon Auto Chess Bible. It's the best copy ever written in there. Um, so if you're a newer player or even average to intermediate, I would start there. That's essentially the best resource outside of the endgame wiki. Um, but outside of that, he's also a mod as well as probably like top 20 plus on the leaderboard. Has been for as long as I've known him, pretty much. So
Yeah, I think I don't remember if I fell to 21 today, but I usually float like 25 to 15ish. So
well, if it makes you feel better, I bounce in and out from 10 to
yeah,
50 all the time. All right. So basically, we're gonna do mostly unedited yap sesh. That's why we have apple juice, luckily, so it's not just me yapping. And we should have some good debates. Apple juice has a very different game style, like gameplay style, than I do. It's still very good, but it's just we have different things. We play different comps that we lean into, and so we'll have a lot different perspectives going into it, which is nice. Um, but yeah, we'll do all the uniques, and first things first, we need to get our sort of our tiers sorted, and so we'll
yeah.
decide how we want to do that.
So I thought a little bit about what would count for each tier, and I only ended up needing to add one extra tier, just tier E for the things that need to evolve, because
Okay.
I felt like there was enough garbage that could fit into the D tier. Like things, I don't think we need to go like too many more tiers other than this. I think everything should fall into 5 categories. But S tier in my mind would be you can pick that unit in almost any context. Like you can just pivot completely into this unit if it randomly shows up in your portal. It's either like comp defining or it's just massively powerful and you can play it without using its synergies. Does that feel
Okay.
okay for S tier?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay. And then A tier would be like these are the featured mons within a given synergy. Like you're playing fire going into T10. It's just we put the best fire mon on A.
Yep.
If you're
Okay.
playing, whatever given comp, these are the main features of that team. B tier would be they're solid, but the unit like either falls off late game, or it's really good, but it's mostly trait filler. That's what
Yep.
I kind of imagine for B tier. And then C tier is it has the traits that you're playing, so you pick it, and it's not actively awful. That's about it.
Right. Yeah.
And then D tier is you're playing a synergy and you see this as your option and you decide to play something else.
Okay.
Like it's not good. You should change your strategy because it's actively not worth picking.
We're gonna go goaded.
Okay. Yeah,
We're
you
gonna
can
go
give these names.
Uber.
Okay.
We're gonna go what's like solid, maybe?
Solid's fine, yeah.
Solid. Meh.
Trait yeah, meh.
Meh. Slash Sinful.
Yeah.
And then
Yikes.
garbage.
Yeah, there you go.
Yikes.
Yeah.
All right. And then
And E for evolve.
yeah, E for we'll just leave it E because E. All
There
right.
you go.
All right.
All right.
Cool. And
So
then
I don't know if you want to pick out like an example of each tier to start or just like go
yeah,
top to bottom.
yeah. So I was gonna say, should we have something separate for like something like Solgaleo or like Cleaver, or should we just throw those where we think they go? What do you think?
Um I mean, so yeah, the like Solgaleo's S tier, right? Like
Obviously,
it's
yeah,
or the top tier. I think it's okay to treat it like the rest of the list. Like we don't
yeah.
have to
Okay.
make it its own category. If at the end of the list it looks weird next to everything, whatever else we put in goaded tier, we might move it. But I think this is
Yeah.
fine.
I was just wondering, just because
Um,
there's a few that are, essentially legendaries, right? But
True.
um,
And I don't know if you pulled that up, but Crabhammer had a nice visual if we care to actually look at real win rates.
yes, yeah, I need to pull that up in the background as well. Let me see
Yeah.
here.
So Crabhammer a few days ago on the Discord for everybody, he's been compiling win rates of the uniques and sharing it on the tier list channel, which is nice. Like he's just pulling that data from the meta report.
Yeah,
And my opinion matters more than reality. So
exactly.
I'll read it and look at it and inform my opinion. But ultimately, my opinion is my opinion because
Hey, I
it's
agree.
like it's like 1100 and higher. So there's plenty of interesting players using the uniques that might raise or lower their win rate.
Right. There's stuff like what's one good example? Like Rotom Superload Spinda super low.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
which most like 13 to 1400 plus players would say Spinda is probably the best normal, and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
data is good, but it can be skewed. So good Ubermon. So something that's like super
To
good on its
me,
own.
this feels like Torkoal range. Like I wouldn't
Okay.
put Torkoal as the top tier, but it's like it's a good unit in fire and on ground.
Well, I'm blind.
He's on the second row.
Second row. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
blind. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I would agree with that. I was thinking
okay,
Lapras, but they're essentially
yeah,
the
yeah.
same
That's
thing.
so a few months ago, Lapras would be goated
Goaded.
tier.
Yep.
Has it fallen down a tier with the nerfs?
I
I
think
really can't tell.
it's Uber. Yeah.
Okay,
I think it's gone down a bit because they reverted the buffs, and then they nerfed it, and then they reverted its synergy buffs as well,
right.
and then nerfed those. So I think it's somewhere right
The
in the
only thing
middle.
I would say with Lapras is I'm still happy to play it without water or ice generally.
Yeah, I
and
agree. Yeah.
and to
It's
me that might make it S tier, like you can pick it almost anytime, but maybe we can talk about that later after we've like sorted stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we can circle back to it. The only reason I put
Yeah,
it there is there's a lot of units I would pick over it still.
that's fair.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so let's see. Solid.
Yeah, like something that's good mid game.
Mm, but still, it still needs to hold water late game, but it's not like the best targeting, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think like the Hitmon units are in that range, or are those
Yeah.
more trait filler?
No, I would say they make it there. I would put Hitmon top there,
Okay,
and I think
like
Hitmon is this Lee or Chan Lee?
that's Chan.
That's Chan. Okay,
I
I
think
think
Lee's the
Lee
bad
goes.
one.
Yeah, I think Lee
Yeah.
goes down here.
Okay. Yeah, that's an example. Like
um,
it's at
and
worst,
then
it's fighting and human.
right,
Like
yeah, but I think it has
it's
the worst like stat
yeah.
ability combo.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Okay.
I see debate. Like I know not Steve uses this one more. Personally, I
hmm
always veer towards top. I like the
I
AOE.
do the same. I usually use top if I play it, but
Um,
I get the idea of leaning into Hitmonchan's defense synergy, but yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I like
Um,
just the damage.
let's
All
see.
right.
Yikes.
What's your token bad unique right now?
Probably this guy,
Interesting. I played him for the first
or
time
maybe
today in
Halucha.
my baby. Yeah. Okay. Hulucha or Manaphy were going to be there, but I think Manaphy's more meh than actually bad.
Yeah, I
But
it's either bottom of meh or top of yikes. I
yeah.
don't know.
Okay, yeah. So for the audience, the reason I hate Hulucha is its ability is pointless. It's not
Awful.
useful. It does no damage. If you're playing flying teams, like you don't care about Hulucha, almost every other unique is better.
Yeah,
And in a fighting comp, like you're just playing it because it's a fighting human, and that's it.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's
it's bad. It's a worse Hitmonlee.
yeah. Dog water ability only 180 HP. Like it doesn't have. I mean, it's not bad stats, but it's not exceptional by any means. It doesn't stand
Yeah,
out.
yeah. If I'm
Um,
playing a flying opener trying to flying 8 and I see Halucha, I might
I'm
switch.
pivoting. Yeah,
I might not be playing flying anymore.
exactly.
So okay.
Okay. So yeah, I think this
So
is a good base.
yeah, and for the actual order of the images right now, when I was like copying them into the list, this was actually based on the win rate data list because I was just copying them in the order I saw Crabhammer's list. So the things you see first are actually higher win rate according to the meta report, except
Okay.
for Scyther, which for some reason, or Scizor, it's at the very bottom, and it was the highest win rate.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
say.
yeah, but everything else was generally in order. I don't know if that's a good way to
Okay.
talk
Yeah.
through these or how you want to look at them, but
So I think the easiest one is just to get our E's out of the way, right?
yeah. So Cosmog, Cosmoem, yeah.
Healing. I will say though, this guy right here might actually like he's an Evo, but he actually like you can use him as a
Yeah,
money
well,
player.
I was gonna make a similar debate for Poiple.
Ah, I don't know about that.
I think Bug Poison is like not atrocious, like as a synergy
It
combo,
poison can be
and it
strong, but this thing is
yeah.
so hard to evolve. Is my thing.
Oh, I'm just saying like using it as a poison unit and just leveling, playing Bug Poison. Like if you can hit Bug 6, Poison 7,
I'd
and ignore it.
put him at the top of this probably.
That's fair. I think he's better than the others, but I also think he's really hard to evolve.
Yeah, that's
So
my only thing is how because I see so many players that watch my Poiple video that'll
mm,
get in my game and they'll pick them and then it's always a top 7 or top 8. Like it's just
yeah, I've had him I think 3 times. I only evolved him once, and got like a second place maybe. And then the 2 times I didn't evolve him, one time I tried really hard to evolve him, got seventh. The other time I ignored him and got first. So I don't
right.
know. I don't
It's a
know what
good
that says about the
synergy
unit.
filler. Like
Yeah,
it has good synergy, so I guess we can
yeah,
yeah we can
maybe.
put it there. If I'm gonna put Gimmighoul there, I love Gimmighoul. If anyone doesn't
Yeah,
know, like Goldingo is one of my personal goated pivot units.
yeah. We
Um,
can we can do that there. I would also put at a minimum Goldingo in A tier.
yeah,
I think I agree with you. Gimmighoul is the unit. You see it, you play Steel 8, like brain off, just go.
I just that free fluffy tail passive that it
Yeah,
has, so good, and the fact that it helps to print you gold through the mid game, which like
yeah,
steel is a late game pivot anyways. It just works so perfully with
yeah.
that. It technically might should be here, but I pivot for it
Yeah,
every time.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
We'll put it there
The
for
the only
realistic.
the only mark against Goldingo in my eyes is you if you were already losing going into turn 10, like your board's not going to be stable until like turn 15 or 16 because you're sitting there not spending your money until you
Yeah,
get to 100. And so there can be some health issues. Now, like steel is that good, like steel is really strong, so it might always be worth it. But there are some times where I've gotten into trouble like trying to evolve the
it
Goldingo. I don't know.
definitely can be. I'll throw up the image here of back in the day where Kurt sent out the average stage 17 Timmy board, and it was me with nothing but a gimme goal at turn 17 and like 18
Ah,
health.
that's good. That's
So
good.
yeah, if you don't play it right, it can put you in a really bad spot. So like if we're making this tier list for the average player, it would definitely probably be closer to like here maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, for me, since I know how to play it pretty easily, and I generally lean more towards blue streak or not really balancing out my board until after turn 15, anyways, it's a perfectly fine unit for me, my
Yep.
playstyle. Um, let's see other bad ones that are
So
Evo.
it was
I think
funny on
that's
the
it.
data. Whoops. I just noticed I copied Manaphy into this list twice instead of Fion once. But um, it was funny
Same thing.
that evolving your Manaphy dropped your win rate,
Yeah, I
which I agree with because honestly, you should never waste the Aqua Egg on this
that's what
unit.
I
Like,
was wondering if it was more worth it now, but I still haven't taken time to test it. I mean, it's definitely down here somewhere. Like I think I would
yeah,
take Poiple over this guy.
yeah. If you want to leave one of them in the, actually, honestly, I would say they're the same. Like,
Yeah, I'd put them at the same level.
yeah, yeah. One of those is Fion.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
oh well,
close enough.
yeah.
um,
But yeah, like the unit's not relevant late game, but you slam your attack carry items on it and you sell it if you find something better. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, don't ever put an Aqua Egg on Fion. I don't think it's worth it, even with the new ability.
agreed.
I said don't put the Aqua Egg there. Actually, like you can, just be willing to sell it. I want
Yeah.
to clarify that for the new players out there. Like you don't have to keep your unique if they're not great late game, and water comps are gonna love that Aqua Egg on some kind of AOE caster later on. So just
Yep.
or a Haunter or something like you know.
Solosis with the water stone.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Um,
All right.
so
Yeah.
and
No,
yeah,
that's a good
and the
point.
reason it's pretty bad is because like water needs a stabilizer on turn 10 to save their health because
Most
they're just really
definitely.
they're just really not that strong around turn 10, and Manaphy does not keep you healthy. It's just squishy
Yeah.
backliner.
It's like, I
So
mean, it's if you give it like attack speed and like a red orb or something, or a fire
yeah,
gem, like it can do okay, just because it's a ranged unit. But like you could get the same value out of giving that to Blastoise, right? So,
yeah, yeah.
as far
And
as
I,
a
I would say like the most correct way to play water is going to be rushing that level 9, which means you really don't have a tank going on around that time of the game. Like turn 10, you're not going to have a good tank. It might be a Marsh Tomp or something. And
right,
so your board's going to die to the other person's unique, and then your mana fee is going to be like 1v5.
yep,
and,
exactly,
and he can't do anything.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, no, I mean,
Okay.
I agree. I think it's not a unit I pick very often. If I do, I'll just go Amorphous. So I don't play it in water.
Yeah.
Um, and even then, like I'm willing to sell it at any point. Okay, so what else? Let's see. Let's fill out some like synergy fillers, maybe.
Well, we talked about Poiple a little bit. Where would you put Naganadel if you
Okay.
do evolve it?
If you
So
do
like,
evolve it, it's either top of solid or low uber. I would say it could go goaded, but I still don't think it's that amazing. 'Cause by the time you evolve it,
yeah,
it's just so late.
yeah. I feel like it's like A or B power level. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
it
haven't seen it that
has
often.
unlimited scaling capability and dragon poison typing's solid, but
Yeah.
it's
Like
just
it stomps your quick play lobby, and then you queue up for your 1200 plus lobby, and no one lets you get any stacks.
right. Yeah,
So I don't know.
exactly. Um,
It's like the high rolls are like crazy, but I'd probably put it solid tier, just because
I'll put it.
I'm not a truther. I don't think it's that consistent.
Yeah, I'm also not a. We're not crab. This isn't the poison enjoyer tier list, so we we throw
Yeah,
it
I
there.
mean, at least there could be some argument like people don't really know how to itemize it. Like I think you have to put a soul dew on it, and then probably tank items. Unless you're
Yeah,
doing
I mean,
unless you do
Widelands
some
would
wide
be.
lens stuff.
Yeah,
Wide lens would be the other option. But I don't know. The part that it's weird to me is like when I'm playing a poison comp with this thing on my board, the poison status is taking all of the kills.
right.
Like
Exactly.
I almost want to like turn off my poison comp just to evolve it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a weird problem to have.
it's a little funky. Just because it has to be ability only and can't get like normal kills or like you said, poison kills or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little funky. Um, but yeah, so that's like pretty much most of our evos.
I don't think I looks like I didn't upload a Mantike image. I guess maybe Crab only put Mantine on his list. I was just copying and pasting what he had. But
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, for everybody in the audience, Mantike is
Down here.
evolved here. Yeah, so I got to use Mantine for the first time like an hour ago in my 8th place Baby 7 game. And it did not make me happy. It was I I didn't hit like a Namicon or like a good because it has an AoE cast with no damage on it. Like Namicon, I feel like might have made a difference, but
Yeah, people
I
try
don't
to
know.
promote it as like the Nomicon, ability spammer, but the thing is there's just so many better Nomicon holders that like one that does the bounces, like the pig
Yeah,
or Mansine. I'm just not a huge fan of them.
yeah.
I think
I don't
Thorn's
really know
saving
what to think
grace is
about it.
baby typing because you get the ability to play baby 7.
True.
But even then, it's like, you really
Yeah, I
want one
mean
of these
when it
two?
was added, just looking at it, my gut reaction was this is just an indirect nerf to baby portal. And that was about it. I don't
Yeah,
know. So
exactly.
I don't know if Mantine is yikes tier, but it's definitely no higher than meh. I don't know
Yeah,
where you would put it.
once you evolve it, it's okay. I mean, if we're putting Holucha in Yikes, I'd probably put it close to top of Yikes, to be honest.
Yeah,
It doesn't impress me.
that's
Um,
fine. I think I'm okay with that.
it may be bottom, but like, it just, I don't know. Let's say out of the water ones, like, and out of the baby
Yeah.
ones, is that, it's probably pretty much the worst one out of both of
Yeah.
those. So,
And like I don't know, you can't really play it in a flying comp. I guess if you're doing a weird like Gyarados into flying situation, maybe it's usable, but
yeah, those are super
it
rare.
also kind of griefs your ability to get Magikarp, maybe with the
Yeah, because then you get the
Remoraid.
Remoraid. Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
it's a rare spot to be super useful. I think.
Yeah.
Definitely
Okay.
not what you're hoping for. I guess we've been doing the Evos. We can do the other types of Evos like
Yeah.
Sizer, right? Goaded.
Yeah. yeah. So yeah, it's just overstated. It's Steel Bug, both a crazy good combo. Like
You get two of
having
them.
like
And Steel 8,
play
like, yeah.
play Steel 8. If you hit the Genesect, you're just cheating.
Yeah.
Even if you don't hit the Genesect, you can your ninth unit can be a bug. Like
Especially if you hit Genesect and the Pineco, and you even
yeah,
get Bug 4, like, yeah, there's just nothing that will beat you. It's just
yeah.
impossible.
It's very strong, but it's obviously limited by needing to hit metal code. So
Yeah. It's
um,
balanced in that aspect, but I do like that you get to reuse the metal coat. That's
yeah,
also what
yeah,
makes it so good. And
yeah. That's true.
Cleaver, I would also say goaded, but I
Yeah,
don't know if you have. Okay,
I've used Cleaver more than Scissor. I really like Cleaver. I think it's really good. The
I
moment we get
still.
some more dark bugs, like it's
Oh
gonna get a
yeah,
little crazy.
what's the law kicks or whatever it is?
Yeah. Low kicks probably is not too far away. I know it has. I think it has sprites, and it's just like devs have to decide that it's its turn to be implemented. But
Gotcha. Well, like always,
um,
rock dark, amazing
yeah,
pairing, and then having bug,
you
you
get
get
to
two
reuse the
uniques, two four
yeah, and you can
stars.
and like the metal coat, you can reuse the augurite to have an extra dark
Yeah.
rock unit.
And
So
this one is much more consistent because it's a 1 in 5 rather than like a 1 in 15 or whatever. So
yeah.
for the item,
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you can play rock pretty easily early game to know if you have it. Like it's hard to scout artificial before T10,
yep, you have to get a little lucky.
you could yeah, you could know when you're opening PvE rounds that you have the tool to evolve Scyther, so
Yep, free
for
4 star,
Cleaver.
definitely worth pivoting into when you have that, especially if you
Yeah.
already have a couple glasses or like muscle band, anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then regular Scyther. I'd say
Yeah.
Uber, maybe solid. I'd say Uber.
I mean, so yeah, like from a bug flying perspective, it's really, really good. Like it's good.
I still
I
think it's
think that
solid.
yeah, like it's I would personally put it in that Uber ranking just because like it's a good unit, it's strong, and if you're playing like bug flying hyper roll, like you love to see that,
Oh
or
yeah,
Volbeat Illumise, and it's like it's a part of a comp that's like a clear like late game strong team comp. So
yeah.
yeah, I think it's
I'd
a
put
good
it
spot for
there.
it.
I like even because unlike the other evolutions, you're still getting a full 3 star unique with Scyther. It's not a 2 star that evolves into a three. It's a full 3 star
Yeah,
that gets even stronger to almost legendary status.
yeah,
So I think it still makes it there.
yeah. I think that's
Um,
fair.
let's see. Was there any other evolutions? I think
Well, Gligar, Gliscor,
Gligar Gilscore, yeah. So
yeah,
these just got nerfed. So I wonder.
yeah. I don't. So
Um,
I already kind of don't think highly of them. Like they very clearly can stomp an unprepared board, and that's why they've always like been the the noob stomper kind of unit.
it's not
I think
staying
that
here. I'm just waiting.
yeah,
So
I think it's like solid tier. I think that's where I would put it.
you put
Like
it
I don't.
here. Okay.
Yeah, like B tier. There, yeah, there's people that are like trying to pick these units in every freaking game, and I don't know.
Yeah, I. So like I have a little bit of conflicted. Like for the longest time, I've always been like, it's not that amazing. What are people like whining about with it, right? But at the end of the day, it did have like 5 months straight of being the number one unique pick that wasn't Solgaleo or these two,
Yeah,
um, which is interesting for sure. I do think that they bumped down the star level, and I think that was enough to kind of balance it out a bit, at least at the lower tiers,
yeah,
because that reduced the mainly just the ability damage that it's doing, because it used to be like
yeah,
120 per cast, which is really solid. I do think it's still really solid just in the terms that one, if anyone plays poison, you instantly counter them.
yeah.
Um,
It's stronger than the everything else on the row, I guess. So
yeah, I
maybe it might end up getting bumped up later, but
Yeah, I'll leave it here for now. I'll leave this one here, and then maybe the unevolved version at the bottom of that tier, or maybe
yeah.
meh.
Yeah, either way. Like if I'm playing flying or poison, I don't know if I'm evolving these units because like, or I don't know if I'm evolving the Gligar. If I'm playing ground, yes, I think it's a good evolve. Um,
I
and I don't,
think I
yeah,
still usually evolve it. Like it's not huge, but 1/1 defense, 20 health, better ability, 2 damage. If I have the components, I will do it, and then usually give it an extra crit item. Because I mean, having a
Yeah.
crit carry is always good, especially a self healing one. But it's definitely better, best evolution at ground, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but I do like it in flying, and it's good in poison. I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
I'll put it down here.
it will occasionally win you a lobby just because it does a thing that no other unit can do, right? Like it can
Right.
completely counter one strategy. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're in a poison heavy lobby, like it's just crazy. And I do
it's
like it in
really
flying just because if you
it
get like
it
Venomat, you get like poison 3 free and all that kind
yeah,
of stuff.
it's always awkward when you have the mirror match though, because I mean for a while it was 1 and 2 on a poison portal. Uh, we've had how many grounds are there now? 4 of them, 3 of them. I guess with
Yeah.
Stonejourner it's 4. Yeah, so I mean it used to be 1 and 3 off a ground portal, 1 and 2 off a poison portal. So you would see mirror matches all the time, like
Right.
and then it was like a weird arms race of how do you itemize to make your Gliscor beat their Gliscor, but
You play ground
I
8.
don't know.
That's how.
There you go. You play more
Yeah.
ground than your opponent. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's
Uh,
it.
so
Yeah.
it might get upgraded after we have the rest of this list filled in, but I think this is fine.
Yeah, I think this is pretty close to where it'll be. I think that should be all the evolutions. All right,
Yeah.
so let's.
Chimecho actually.
Oh, Chimeco, yeah.
So
Uh,
yeah, right. I
maybe
mean,
even over these guys, to be honest.
um,
But I'll leave it
it's
here.
bottom S tier, top A tier. It's.
Okay.
I mean, so you see Chingling. You don't have to be playing sound. You don't have to be playing anything related to this. If you have even one mana item, you can probably switch into it and get a top 4. Like
Yeah.
it's
So, like, this guy's
it's good.
always been a little broken, but like it was always kind of balanced because Sound one didn't have a T20 that was worth anything,
Yeah,
at least in my opinion. Two, it didn't really have any good tanks,
yeah,
but tanks have been added, and then the PP overflow thing has
yep,
helped Sound a lot.
yep,
And then the Baby 7 shiny items makes this an even more desirable pick. And then now Mellow Perrette, which is one of the best T20s, if not the best,
yeah,
makes Sound just over the top. So, yeah, I wouldn't put it top unless you have Perrette with it. But I definitely put it in S tier personally. This thing is
yeah.
way overtuned for Sound's current state.
Yeah,
uh,
it's an awkward place because you can't really like nerf the sound synergy per se.
no,
Like the
definitely
synergy is
not.
fine. It's just the power outliers of a couple of the units make it go crazy. And
Yep.
here this is perpetrator number 1.
Yeah, definitely. It's
So
literally like 2 units in my opinion, but
yeah,
because everything
um,
else, as you can see with where they rank, everything underperforms otherwise for Sound. So I
yeah,
still think they're good, but like across the everyone, they underperform.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that should be all the Evos. So maybe let's pick like some personal favorites and rank them. I'll let you go.
Okay. Let's see. Um, I mean, I play a lot of wild. I don't know how much you've got under your belt recently, but I think I can give these wild units a good spot on the tier list. I would put 2 of them on A tier, and
You
then
guys
a lot there
see
are a lot.
Stantler on there?
Uh, he's like top of B tier to me.
Top of
There
B
I think
tier.
yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, I guess without the letters, he's top of solid tier. Stantler's
Yeah.
good. Stantler's good. But the 2 standouts, if I'm playing wild, I want to see either Absol or Pinsir.
Wait, which
So
one is this one?
that's
Pincers?
Pinsir. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
that's Pinsir. Yeah. So I think you get Pinsir, you get Absol. You're playing a wild comp. You're happy. Like those are the 2 for sure. You want to lean into.
I
Power wise, probably around Scyther level. Um, and then
see, absolute.
yeah, to the right.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So I was just
uh,
gonna say, I think there's been a bit of debate, like which ones do you want, the Absol, do you want the Pinsir? Like Pinsir has the higher win rate by a lot because it's just so obviously strong. You get a cloned wild unit,
yeah,
like you just start winning,
it's
and
the same as
it
getting a clone steel unit. It's the
yeah
yeah,
yeah it's a really strong spike. Wild played in like a more traditional way struggles mid game, but like you put Pinsir on your board and you just start beating people. Like It's just really powerful. Um, yeah, Kingskins. I
They're not
Kangaskhan might
staying.
be
I'm just getting them
yeah.
up
Oh, you
here.
can grab. Yeah, good
Yeah.
idea. Kangaskhan kind of sucks, but I'll talk about that in a second. But
Yeah.
the argument of is Absol more important in Wild is just because we really like Dark Duskstone. We love Dark Wild combination, and it can be tricky to get to that third Dark Wild unit. So like
Right.
Absol's really powerful. I would say Absol is more relevant late game.
So
To an average user, like Pincer's way easier to play. You just put it on your board. You have two of them.
so I will
uh,
say I don't play Wild a ton.
yeah,
I've played it a decent amount. Like I understand it, but I don't.
yeah,
It's not one I lean into. It's just I don't like a rigid play style. And with Wild, you don't have very much flexibility. It's pretty much always the same end game board or one of like
yeah,
three basically.
yeah.
Um, So for me, I like Absol if I already have like a Duststone early or multiple crit items like glasses.
Mhm.
I look at that for I like Absol getting that. But so the one thing I'm worried about putting them in Uber tier is like we said, this generally is going to be units that even can stand alone outside of their synergy.
Oh, that was what I had considered for the tier above.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So the like if this was used to be the A rank, I'm thinking of things that are just the stars of a certain comp,
okay,
and
gotcha.
then the tier above might stand out even if you don't have that team.
Okay, gotcha,
But
gotcha.
but
Um,
if we want to shift things, we could.
I don't know. That's fine. So yeah, stars of that comp. My bad. I misremembered. So yeah, I think these would go there, and I would also put them in that order. Personally,
Yeah,
I
I think Pincer's
might
just
go
so much
over.
easier to use. Yeah,
I might put them over Scyther here.
yeah,
I wouldn't put them over my boy, but
yeah,
that's just because I don't play wild. Okay, so let's look at the other one. So Standler,
yeah. So
this guy is super good for field at the very
yeah,
least.
it's really good in field. Like
Um,
psychic field is like a very interesting relevant combo because there's all the field dashing units are really happy to get free AP
oh yeah,
if you give them a Dawn Stone or whatever. But
yeah. Especially if you get
um,
Musherna, who's already really good in field. So
yeah, yeah. So as a wild unit, I would put it B tier. Now as a psychic field unit, it might actually be even higher. Like
yeah, I
I,
could.
I
I don't know that I would put it over Liscore necessarily, but it's definitely. I don't know. I feel like when I play field, I like to get Miltank or Tauros more, but that's
mm,
also just because I stay very loose where I can go back and forth between normal and field as I need.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, I know like Tort, for example, he loves this guy, and I think Crab as well.
Yeah,
I think they
I
would
think he's a
pivot for
very
him.
strong. I think he's a very strong unit. So for the value of outside of just wild teams only, it might actually be A tier. Like it might be
Yeah,
good enough in a lot of
it's
teams that
also
you're
a
happy to use it.
protective user, so I'll throw it
Yeah,
up there.
yeah,
Uh,
true. For the rest of the wild units, Zangoose is like B tier. It's a
yeah,
normal wild unit. It has actually okay base stats, a decent spell.
yeah.
Kangaskhan sucks. And then Drud we talk about in a non-wild context. It's not it's a bad wild
It's
unit,
a
but
dragon unit.
it's a dragon unit. So I
Kind of a bad
yeah
one at that,
yeah.
but
So like Drud fits the same bill as like
like,
Liscore to me, where I feel like if you're fighting unprepared opponents, it can 1v9.
yeah,
Um,
it's fun.
but
But,
yeah, and it goes crazy. Like you get to do fun things with itemization. It self confuses, so there's some fluffy tail value. And if you're doing that, you might as well put a flame orb. And if you're doing all of that, like it powers up its spell. So like there's some
yeah,
fun stuff you can do with the unit. You could give it a dusk stone.
it's not one I'm ever
Um,
really happy to get. Like, it's not the like I don't
yeah,
know.
I think it goes solid tier, like, but not as
Yeah,
a wild unit. If it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
wild unit,
Definitely
it
just
would be
dragon.
way low. It would be way lower.
Yeah, if it was wild, it'd probably be yikes, right
Yeah,
above
yeah.
Kangaskhan.
Yeah, and then Kangaskhan just currently does not have a good home. It's not a great normal unit. Like almost every other normal T10 is better. It's
Mhm.
the worst wild unit. I think it's just in the waiting room for a new ability because it's not very
Yeah,
exciting.
it's
It's got
very
bad base
lackluster.
stats. There was a point where it was already in the game before Wild existed, and then the Wild tag was given to it, and it got kind of panic nerfed like right after Wild was added,
Yep.
and it like now looking back, I don't think it ever needed that nerf because it's got like 16 attack or something stupid. Like it's just it doesn't do damage. It's not tanky.
Yeah, and
It just doesn't
it's
it doesn't
uppercuts
fit any of
based
its
on its
concept.
own defense, and it doesn't even like
Yeah.
it's 4/4. It's not even like crazy high defense.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, it
you
has
can use it kind of
fighting.
like Miltank, where you throw, muscle band and other stuff on it to try to
Yeah,
make its defense attack or defense ability do stuff, but it's just not great. And I don't think fighting wants it either. I don't play a ton of
no,
fighting,
it
but
doesn't.
I'm pretty sure most of the other fighting uniques are more exciting. So
Yeah, this is similar to what we were talking about with like Mantine or whatever, where it's just like in every synergy it has, it's pretty much the worst.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
So if you're a Kangaskhan fan out there, go post an idea to rework the ability. I know some people have already like talked about it.
At least give it
It
like defensive buffs. At least make it match Miltank, maybe. I don't know,
yeah,
something.
or that or
'Cause it
that.
has like compared to Miltank, it has 1/1 less defense, special defense, and then it has 50 less HP as well.
Yeah,
So, and only one more attack. I mean, it has an extra synergy. Like 3 synergies are generally weaker, but still,
yeah.
it's not good.
Yep. Yep.
um,
It's in a rough spot.
all
So,
right. So I guess
this and yeah, I think that's all the wild units. Although it did remind me, Sylvali used to be a wild unit, and
yep, I got
at
changed.
least talking about favorites, this used to be my favorite unique until they bug fixed it.
Yep, agreed.
Um,
I was not happy about
I
that.
yeah. So I guess for the audience, Sylvali currently has a kind of a gimmick where you can remove its artificial item to kind of duplicate the artificial item, but it doesn't revert the evolution. And there was a patch where they decided, hey, that's cool. What if we make it work like that for all of the synergy items? And they did that for a little while, and then it was a really cool unit. You could put a grass stone on it, and then get that grass stone back or leaf stone, and then put it on something else.
Yep.
But then there was a weird bug where you could duplicate items, and they just decided it wasn't worth to maintain that interaction, and so now it only works with artificial items again.
Yeah.
And there's more artificial items in the pool than ever before, so it's like you spend a lot of artificial games without a synergy item.
Yep. Very much
So
so.
it's
Not
just
that
kind of
great.
suffering from a lot of things that happened not directly to it, just around it.
Yeah, there was a while I could give it a thunderstone, a metal coat, and like anything like a dawn stone if I wanted to, and then I
Yeah,
could bench it, and it would keep electric, psychic, and steel synergy, and I could reuse those items on another unit. So I could run like steel 8, artificial 4,
yeah,
electric 3, psychic 4, or whatever. So.
yeah,
But yeah, since that has been fixed, it has fallen off quite a. I mean, it's still good. It's still an artificial unit.
yeah,
Um, but like you said, with more artificial items, there's plenty of games where I don't get a single synergy item. Then
yeah,
you need a stone, and you don't really want to be wasting items on stones when you play artificial, for the most
yeah.
part. So like when
So
you get a Steel Valley stot, it's still good, but
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
The two big cases, or I guess the three big cases, you get light ball, you get rotom phone, or you get metal code.
yep,
And
exactly.
having an extra copy of that in artificial is incredibly powerful.
Hmm.
But that doesn't happen very often anymore. So I would put it like solid. It,
Yeah,
it has it has some high roll where
I
it's
might
as
put it over
powerful as
Zangos.
yeah, it's fine. It
Might go
has some
like
high
that.
roll still where it's as powerful as like a Lapras or a Goldango when it comes to like what it's providing for the team. But
Yeah.
on average, it's just
It has a
kind
lot
of
of low rolls too. I did figure
yeah.
out you can put a AV light on type null, but it's still not very good.
Oh, that's a weird interaction.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I got eighth with that.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
but yeah, that actually segues perfectly into like what I love to play the most, which is like artificial and steel.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
so
a big artificial
for
fan.
me personally,
Klefki is oh yeah,
I would
way
put
up
it
there.
goaded. Yeah, I can't put it over
Um,
Chimeku even though I want to, but this
yeah.
I will instant pivot for this every single
Yeah,
time.
I pivot more for steel off of a Klefki than I do off of a Gimmighoul.
I mean, I do this for the meme, but in terms of like
Yeah,
playing optimally, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Klefki is an insanely good unit, and it's. I think we're protected from it being nerfed just because it's kind of unappealing. Like the
Yeah,
casual players are not abusing it because it's just a
not at
keychain.
all. Yeah,
But like to glaze it a little bit, it's a 3 range steel artificial unit with a good ability that prevents people from hitting you,
Yeah,
and it has good base attack. Like it's insane.
yeah. It's
There's
not the worst in fairy, but that's his worst typing,
yeah,
so you don't really use it
yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
and that too, and like
So
you know, even just like casually having Fairy 2 or Fairy 4 on your artificial board, maybe you hit a Magirna or something.
yeah,
It's it gets to get some bonus damage. Like it's good.
yeah, it's amazing.
It has great typings. It's just too good. It's really good.
Yeah.
If I were like trying to balance it for fairness, I'd probably have to nerf it, but I just love it too much. Like
Yeah, and I don't think it performs particularly crazy, just because
yeah,
its typings are ones that are late game pivots that you have to work for towards like
yeah,
the whole mid game.
yeah,
So you'll see it a lot. You'll see 1400 plus players pivot for it all the time, right? But
yeah,
in a regular great ball match or quick play, you're probably not going to see this, or you might even see it get eighth or something.
yeah.
Um, but like other steel units aren't quite as appealing for the uniques. Like
Yeah,
we
you got
got
Reggie Steele
like
with
Kobalion, I
the
think is really good. I would put it up here in
yeah, yeah.
Uber, at the top of
Yeah,
Uber.
it's and I mean it's a good steel unit. I think it's even more powerful as a fighting unit just
Agreed.
because its ability scales with how many allies it has alive, and fighting units are hard to kill. So it's going to get several casts with 130 true damage or whatever.
Yep. And it's
Um,
like it's even one that I don't mind just throwing a random stone on. To be honest, like it's
yeah.
just a
Oh
good
yeah,
unit.
yeah, yeah. I have
So
definitely used Kobalion with it just as a good frontline unit, like and played something else.
yeah,
So very powerful.
yeah. I would put it since the Torkoal and Lapras nerfs. I would honestly put it over them, and I think this one's getting nerfed next since
Yeah,
the
I do
latest
think so.
changes. I think it's currently the number one outside of these three. So,
Yeah.
but for the bad,
Oh.
I'm gonna put Delmise down in Yikes, top of Yikes. It's a little bit better since Ghost is so good right now, but for me, it
Yeah.
still gets Yikes. What do you think?
Um. Yeah, I'm never happy to pick Delmise. Like, if I'm playing grass, it's not my first choice.
Yeah, no.
It's okay, like in a grass ghost combo. If you get some of the ad picks, I guess. Like being able to splash ghost onto a grass board is pretty nice.
Being able to splash
But it's
Ghost in
really
anything is nice,
yeah,
but
being able to splash ghost anywhere is nice, and maybe just being ghost type makes it a okay synergy filler. But it's really not good or exciting.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It's and if I'm trying to pivot into a steel game, like
Oh, I'm not
it,
pivoting with
yeah,
Delmise.
yeah, I'm
I'll go
going
another
somewhere else.
direction.
Yeah, yeah. Like if
So,
I put on steel 2 or steel 4 on Gyarados to try to get a steel portal, and see Delmise, I'm probably changing my mind.
yeah.
So
Reggie still, I'd probably put up here somewhere.
yeah,
Maybe it's
um,
meh, like it's good, but it's not. It doesn't complement steel very well. And
yeah.
obviously, you're never playing vertical human, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's strange with all the humanoid steel types. We don't have other steel humans like between
right.
Lucario or Tinkaton or Bisharp or any of those. But I don't know. Like if there was more to lean into the
Yeah.
human angle while you're playing a steel comp, it
If it
might
was
be
human two to
better.
four, yeah, healing's
Yeah,
super powerful when you do that much damage on a burst comp. But
yeah,
Reggie still is made for essentially defense, right? I mean, it's a
yeah,
Lily's
yeah.
defense
It's
girl,
yeah,
so
yeah,
um, it doesn't bode as quite as well. Like it's a decent tank, but it's not really what you want when you're playing steel, especially since you need such a good mid game carry like Cobalion or Klefki or Goldingo.
yep.
Um, I can't place it super high. I
Yeah.
think that is that all the.
Steel types.
I guess we have artificial
Oh,
steel.
Mawile's on the far right.
Wow, right. Uh,
A B tier at least. I feel like it's
B
just
tier.
it's a good mid game unit. Like I treat it in the same vein as like Dredagon. If they're not if they're not playing a well rounded board, Mawile might go on a monster rampage and
I mean, I
you
guess
know
it can
win.
since it lost its passive. I've always seen it as kind of meh, to be honest, because the passive kept
Yeah,
getting bugged.
I guess that is true a little bit. I'm definitely I've seen more models in the past, and I'm definitely thinking of it as it used to be. Um,
Yeah, used to I would have put it like pretty mid B, maybe bottom
but
A at
I
certain
don't know.
points.
I think it's nice as a bridge when you're playing like a rock monster opener or something, and then you use it as a bridge to pivot steel late game. I think it like
It can be
I'm happy.
nice.
I'm still happy to see Mawile, and all the other steel types are either much worse or much better. So like this is kind of like right in the middle.
Yeah,
But
that's
if you
fair.
want to drop it to the top of synergy filler, that's fine. I don't know.
We can leave it here for now. We'll see how it goes. For me personally, I'd probably put it here, but I mean, it's yeah, I'd put it at least bottom solid. Just yeah, 15 attack, 180 HP. I mean, it has good defensive stats, especially for a monster unit.
Yeah.
It has a pretty solid ability, but it's just I don't know. Ever since it lost its passive, it's felt not that great. And unfortunately, monster doesn't fit super well onto steel. I do like getting it if I do like the aggron hyper roll meme, but
Hmm.
outside of that, I'm usually never too excited personally.
That's fair. I might be overrating it from history wise, but
It's nice to give it a dust stone and a dark fairy monster,
true, true,
so
yeah,
it does have that.
yeah.
But yeah,
We can look at the arty units. I guess I think we're
yeah.
both big arty fans.
Oh yeah. So cast
Uh,
form. What are you thinking on this?
Old cast form, I would have put in A tier for sure. With the fact that it's a little bit harder to play since it lost normal, it got amorphous. It might still be in that Uber section in
I was
A
gonna
tier,
say
but
I put it up here somewhere personally. I mean, we can drop it lower. It performs really badly
yeah,
for most players.
it's hard to use. It's harder to use now. I think power wise, I think it's okay to put it where you have it right there.
Okay.
The issue is so like I mean I think we've even chatted about this before. Like the best use in the past used to be ice already with cast form. You could put
Mm,
your Vandalite on the board. You get 2 ice, which is just a great splash, and the ice version of cast form. Boosted your defense, give it some mana items, it would spam it out. It was good. It was just a solid unit.
yep.
You can still kind of do that because
I still do.
Yeah, Vandalite has the Amorphous that cast form
Yep.
now has, and you if you have like coughing in your game, you can really lean into that overlap between amorphous and artificial.
Oh yeah.
But it's just not as easy because it suffers like every other utility unit, right? Like every utility unit is underperforming in the data just because
Yep.
people don't know how to itemize them.
I would say out of the utility units, I still place it as my highest. It's like I wouldn't necessarily extremely pivot to
Well,
it, but if I did an audio
I
chat,
feel like when I point out Tapu Fini exists, you're gonna have to
uh,
amend that statement.
that's not a that's not a utility unit. That's a broken unit.
A cheater unit.
So
Okay.
yeah, that
Um.
doesn't count.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we could
We can just
we
throw
could
that
put
up
that up
there.
there.
Uh,
Yeah. It still shocks me that it got buffed on a
yeah,
patch that
I don't
improved the
know.
mana interact or the PP interaction, and it was already pretty good. Then
Yeah, it's
it
one
was
of those
good.
that
They made the PP
underperforms.
overflow exist, and then they were like, "What if we also let it heal you?"
Yeah, it's a ridiculous unit. This thing, it was already one that 1,300 plus players like. It was just oh great, I get a free top one, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, now it's a little better than it was, but before like
Yeah,
last
yeah. I mean,
patch,
between getting buffed and then
ridiculous.
having to get nerfed, I think it's still better than it used to be, and it was already
Yeah,
good.
for
So,
sure.
so yeah, that one's S tier. But yeah, so wrapping up on cast form, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good unit. It's flexible. It's just kind of hard to use.
I like it just because Artiomorph is so good, especially if you get synergy items for Amorphous or for Artificial, rather
Yeah,
than like the better attacking items or whatever.
yeah,
Then splashing a Morph 3 in there and getting like an Ultra like Ghastly or Delusion is always super nice.
true.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. I guess the reason I haven't had as many angles for that is, as we said before, like there's just more non-synergy arty items, and
right.
it just doesn't happen as often, which is a shame.
I,
But
I will say it was one I slept on for a while until like maybe a week or two ago. I started playing
mm,
around with it again. And dude, setting snow is just so powerful right now. Like
oh
just
yeah,
slowing
yeah,
down the board and just
yeah,
throwing Velonite in there as your Amorphous
yeah.
filler.
Oh, I guess the one point
So
of warning for cast form is enemy weather setters kind of screwed up.
very true. Yeah.
So technically on T10 you could delay your choice and watch what other people are doing. If there's like a fire player in your lobby, maybe keep an eye on him, see if he picks Soul Rock before you like lock in the cast form.
Yep.
But because yeah, if they have a forced weather setter, your cast form feels awful.
Yeah. I
I've been
mean,
there.
it can still be okay, but it's not. it's
Yeah.
not doing what it's supposed to do for sure.
Yeah,
But I
or I
do have
guess
a
even worse than a soul rod because your cast form would go into like sunny mode. If it pick a weather that doesn't have a cast form for him, and if he just sits there in default, it sucks. Like
yeah,
Lunatone or whatever.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So
But I mean, all the cast forms are really good. Ice is just generally the one that's easiest to splash, especially since you have the isomorphous unit
yeah,
like ready to
I
go, and snow is really good when you're
yeah
stat checking.
I've definitely won with fire cast form in some weird comp. I don't remember why. And then like water, just PP span. Like if you have like a metronome, like the
Mm.
sound cast form with like water sound stuff is kind of crazy. It's a lot of free mana or
Oh
free
yeah.
PP. So yeah, it's good. It's flexible. I like it. Uh,
Um,
how are you on bundle? Iron bundle.
I don't hate it. Where's it at? Here it is.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Personally, I would have it over Malwa,
Yeah.
or is it maybe even Zangus.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
it's still
as
already
a as
ice,
yeah,
so
it's as an ice unit. I don't think about it very often. As an arty unit, like I'm happy because it lets me play arty. As a water unit, I'm
oh
usually
no,
selling it late game because
yeah,
it's like I have to slam items to get value off of it, and then I need those items elsewhere.
yeah. I don't use it as
So
a water unit ever. I only ever pick it
yeah,
as an artificial unit.
like
Um,
if I have good arty items, like I hit light ball or something, like things that I'm happy to slam on bundle to let its ability like chunk people mid game, then I'll keep it. But I do feel like there's a lot of games where I'm stuck like actually having to waste my good items on it, and then I have to sell it later.
I will say typically if I'm looking for the arty spot and I get bundle, I already have a wonder box. And I usually just give it that, maybe an amulet coin. I let it run around the mid game. At already four,
Yeah,
like it carries mid
that's
game.
yeah,
Um,
that's a fair use where I have have been happy just to give it a wonder box and figure it out later, like not have
yeah.
to think about it as much.
Plus, if I
Um,
wind up with a random stone, ice stone is always amazing. So,
yeah, true.
um,
Um, if it if there's an abundance of artificial units that were added to your lobby, um, it can be okay to sell it. I guess would be the one thing I would say. Like,
oh yeah,
because if you were trying to give it some carry items and then you need to move those over to your Mewtwo or your Genesect or whatever, like
yeah.
you
At
know,
the end of the day, I
it's
mean, it's just it's. I would consider it basically like Dual Blade or Middle Evolution Metane. Like I don't consider it much better than either of those. It's just
yeah,
like it's solid, but it's not not like these guys, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
um,
Oral Beam does damage for mid game for sure. It's like watching a Eternatus do its like line nuke through a crowd. Sometimes it'll just kill three things,
yep.
but
And I
so
also like it a lot for Rock Ice because you can get free artificial too a lot of times,
yeah, true. Yeah, and if
which
you
is
have
very
that
nice.
hard stone from your artificial, it
Yeah,
can really
opens
work
up a
out.
lot of different things. So I will
Yeah.
say I might have a little bias on that angle since I spammed that for a while. but, um, but yeah, I think that is that all the artificial.
Um.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's see. We did the
That's good.
tapu. You want to do the other tapus?
Okay. Yeah. Bulu is at minimum Uber. Might. No, it's probably not S tier. I
It's
don't know.
probably
That's
Uber.
yeah. I mean, so yeah.
Put it right here.
The why is Bulu so crazy? It's just grass has slow fights, and Bulu makes you inevitably win. Like
Yeah.
it's really like in other synergies, having a unit that just like buffs the attack of all your units, like a super Eevee, wouldn't be as big a deal. But it's really good in grass. Like
Yeah.
you're a lot of grass mid games. You're just playing a lot of garbage units because they have like flora on them or something. And this makes any random garbage unit actually do damage if the fight goes long enough. Um,
I might do it like this.
yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
It's a really good unit, and it's just like a solid frontliner. Like it has
Yeah.
what it does have 20 attacks, 17 attack, yeah.
17, 5.
200 health, yeah. It's just a good like it's
So
solid on its own. It makes your grass teams crazy.
yeah,
The
definitely the
fact that you
best
can't
grass
hit it
one.
on Fairy Portal anymore is amazing.
Yeah,
Because
previously it would have been lower just because all of them would have been just because of that.
yeah,
But
so
yeah, it definitely is the standout of the grass uniques for sure.
yeah, yeah.
And then Lily Psychic Field. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this.
Hmm. I undervalue it a little bit because it feels like overkill a lot of times when I'm playing like a psychic fairy. Like
Okay.
the world where I want to be using this in, it's like Gardevoir carry. Maybe I have like Florges or something pumping, some mana going on. But like psychic fairy casters is a pretty common way to build the stuff. And having a unit that just gives out AP to the rest of your board, I don't know. It feels a little overkill, but
I can
it's not awful.
agree with that. I personally, I would put it maybe around here for me.
I think that's fine. I mean, it is a psychic fairy unit, which like hitting high amounts of those is nice.
It's Psychic Fairy, and then the other reason I really like it, outside of
It gives
being
you
Psychic
field.
Fairy, is that you get the field for your Alolan Raichu,
Yeah,
which is when I'm happiest to see this.
true.
So you
Yeah,
get to boost that, and then you get to boost your other Psychic units, or even your Fairy Psychic units, since you boost their
yeah,
damage. That's quite good with the Fairy Splashes, or the
yeah.
Fairy Additional Special. Um, so I don't know. I mean, you could put it lower for sure. I think it underperforms across the board, but I actually like this unit a lot. Um,
I think it's okay. Maybe the lower end of this
I might
row.
I might put it like right here.
Yeah, I think it's
I
fine.
think it's good here. But I do like if I have a Alolan Raichu, then that's like my instant pick, right? So
Yeah,
it's kind of
true,
game
true.
dependent.
Yeah,
Um,
and
and
then Coco on the
then
second row to the
yeah,
left.
I was like, this one should be performing well.
Yeah,
I'm up in
uh,
here for this one, maybe like here.
yeah, yeah. I think that's fine. It does what electric comps want. Like it's good. It's a ranged electric unit with good solid stats. It's it's another like support unit that's probably people sleep on a little bit, but I think it's
Yeah.
it's just really consistently strong.
What's another one? Again, it's a Alolan Raichu thing.
And that
Makes it
too, yeah,
correct.
like yeah. I mean, Alolan Raichu is happy to see three of the Tapus, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I don't even know,
Anything but the
like,
grass.
yeah, I'm not even sure which one's the best. When I was writing the synergy guide, I had like a whole section taught when I was talking about fairy comps and using Alolan Raichu, and I realized like I don't which one do I want if I actually could pick of the three.
I think for me, it's hard to say. I would say maybe Lele right now, but it probably depends on additional picks for the most
Yeah,
part.
and I mean it's also since Alolan Raichu can kind of be built in a few different ways. Like
Yeah.
the field type you get or the unit you get is going to kind of shape how you have to build your Raichu.
Yep.
So like
Yeah.
if it's Tapu Koko, I'm thinking instead I need like on hit attack speed. I want to leverage my electric and fairy crossover. I want to be playing other fairy types, be looking for thunderstones, that kind of thing. But if it's the other two Tapus, it's like we're going Aqua Egg AP items all the way. Like let's
Oh
just blow
yeah,
blow things up.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Exactly. No, I like Coco a lot right now. Especially like a lot of people hate on getting Zapdos, but if you get these two together, dude,
Oh
it's
yeah, they're hilarious
insane.
together. Yeah, yeah. I really like Zapdos. I just play more flying than electric recently, and it's off. It's awful as a flying unit.
That's
It could
fair.
it either needs a new ability or it kind of needs the like portal treatment that we
Right.
got for the Tapus where you can
It
only see it on electric.
it does feel weird that it has that ability when like Articuno and the other one both have like team wide damage,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
Moltres, yeah, all enemy damage and
I
freeze,
remember
and then
some
Zapdos
threads
is support.
discussing that at some point in the past where people were like, "What if we made it an AOE ability that gave paralysis or something?" I'm like, maybe
Yeah,
that might be
it might be
crazy, but
overkill because Articuno is
yeah,
already insane. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
I
if I
don't know if
want
we want
another.
Articuno too, but
Yeah. But yeah, I like this unit a lot, and I like electric a lot lately, especially electric light. I think it's definitely edging its way in the meta moment.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I wish I had more angles to play electric. I feel like I'm a little too picky about forcing it. But I like playing electric a
I'll
lot as
say
well.
Alolan Raichu, I always force it. Um,
Yeah, if I see it in my
Alolan,
portal and no one else is taking Pichu's, I'm playing it.
yeah,
Like
Alolan
it happens.
Golem, I think it's fine to force electric. You can
Yeah.
get like that at least 2 stage early.
Hmm.
And then if I ever get Charge Bug, I instantly force it as well.
True. Yeah.
Um,
I didn't read the thread or whatever. Someone posted like an electric reroll guide or a hyper roll guide, and I was like, you're the person I've been seeing playing Ampharos, Raichu,
Yeah,
Alolan Golem openers. I'm like,
no shot
I
I'm ever
get it.
doing that.
It's like I get the concept. Like if you can get it fast enough, that snowballs because Electric really likes the high base stats. But I don't think I'm playing Electric in that way ever.
No, no, I'm never playing Electric as Hyper Roll unless it's a Alolan Raichu or
Yeah.
Golem, but even the Golem. But
Yeah.
anyways, speaking
Okay.
of Electric,
Alecki, Uber tier, crazy.
I'm
Yes.
putting this guy. I'll put him right under Cobaline. Personally, I'll take him over
Yeah.
Lapras, and I'll play him in any comp. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. If when we get later, we might have to maybe we move some of the strong Ubers up to goaded.
yeah, maybe.
And Alecki is going to be on that radar for
I
me.
mean, I'll go and throw him up there. I didn't know if you would
Oh,
be rating him higher.
I think Alecki's nuts. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'd put him
it's it's two range, so it's not taking pressure at the start of the fight. I mean, it's gonna live for forever. It
120
does
AOE.
insane damage.
Yeah,
If you had no AP items, you could still make it an attack carry. It's just good.
I remember the whole reason.
Put it on a light square. The light square could be
Yeah,
backline or frontline. It doesn't matter.
it's insane. It's a full carry until like turn 25 at
Yeah,
least.
it won't fall off until people start having like AoE legendaries. That's about it.
Yeah,
So
I
it's very good.
like the whole reason that the on hit effects for crits got nerfed, like scope lens giving mana
Yeah,
whenever you casted, was because I had a crit cast build with this versus Crab Hammer in a ranked match many months ago.
that's
But
funny.
yeah,
Yeah,
that thing was
I remember
permacasting.
when I joined the
Like,
game, it was crit cast light. Hisui Typhlosion was the
yeah,
like everyone spammed it, and then yeah, they had to remove the crit interaction.
yeah, it
It was
was
a weird
annoying with
meta.
Typho, but then I did it with this guy, and I
Yeah,
mean, literally, it just instantly deleted every board. It was the
it's
most
just
disgusting thing I've made.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
um, especially
that's
with like
funny.
electric, because we got the triple proc, and yeah,
Oh
it was
yeah,
awful. But yeah, so that
we can
one
do the
goes
rest of the
there.
electrics maybe.
Yeah, Rotom. This one underperforms, which surprises me
Yeah,
personally.
it's so. I mean, they had the same ability for a while, but like it with Manaphy has the small problem of if you're playing a board going into turn 10 without frontline, like Rotom is just going to get run over after everything else dies. Like it needs the protection, but it does two things way better than Manaphy. It has Electric Light
Yeah,
and Ghost. It
yeah,
has
and
amazing
Ghost.
synergies, and
Hold on.
it is. I would say it does more damage just because of the electric. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna be, and if you're playing an electric comp, you're probably a little bit safer than like a water mid game board.
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
it's a very high like quality synergy filler. Um,
I mean, I
it's a little.
personally, I would put it.
I think
Well,
solid is okay.
maybe I guess we
Um,
got to put something down here. This is
yeah, we
good
might.
because of the synergies.
Yeah, it is for sure defined by really good synergies. And then it can occasionally like carry from turn 10 to
Yeah,
turn 19 or whatever.
yeah.
Um,
I usually want to have another carry picked up by turn 15 ish, or else it starts getting a little scary. But
yeah,
yeah, it's not a bad carry for the mid game.
it's a sleeper combo in like artificial as well, just
Yep,
because electric light ghost are all good with artificial.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
if you have some good like offensive artificial items, that lets you itemize your Rotom without being stuck with the items on them. Because
Mhm.
that's the part. Like items that you put on Rotom feel stuck. Like later on in the game, they're just gonna feel stuck.
Yeah. I mean, like
Um,
for me, to me it's a three range unit.
yeah,
Attack speed, fire gem. I'm happy. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Um, So it's but especially with electric type, but yeah, electric light's insane, and then it does open up some niche spots for like ghost light, which is pretty
yeah,
fun.
yeah. I mean, just given how easy it is to play Litwick or whatever, like you're probably gonna splash in the two ghosts on
Yeah,
your light board.
and
So
then yeah, so I like it. It's fun.
yeah.
Um, was there other
Yeah,
electric?
it might be a
Oh,
candidate for a little reorder later. Oh yeah.
oh, we forgot about Linola. I
Yeah,
guess that
yeah.
shows some things. No.
Lunala is lower end of that list, but I think it has to be the top row,
It's
right?
still
Like
amazing, yeah, but
it's
it's
still really
just
good.
I rarely want it over this.
Yeah, yeah, it's just so hard to justify not playing Solgaleo.
Yeah.
Like and that's that will always be its weakness.
Yep,
So yeah.
100%. I just realized we forgot that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
So,
later we should do a quick Cosmog chat because we just kind of filled him in and assumed everyone would know why. But
because he sucks.
well,
No,
yeah, the
you
early
have to
forms
evolve
suck,
him.
and yeah, and then the later forms
So,
are game winning. But
yeah, so you have to
yeah,
get 10 evolutions in order to get Cosmog to evolve into Cosmium, and then another 10 evolutions of like any units on your border bench to evolve into Solgaleo or Linola. Solgaleo on the light spot, Linola not. This guy is just terrible. Cosmium's like what, bad Abra basically, or is it the other way?
Cosmog is the Abra, and then
Cosmog's Abra.
Cosmome
Yeah,
is like Soul Rock or
yeah,
whatever. It
that's what
goes
it is.
AP. Yeah,
So neither of them are great, especially when you're having to hold them on the light spot for the most part, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
they're supposed to be your carry while you're bleeding health trying to evolve. So,
yeah,
um, but when you do
yeah,
hit, you get legendary stats. So it is what it
yeah.
is. I
They're
still
just
insta
yeah.
pivot for these guys.
Yeah,
So
the only reason I wouldn't insta pivot is if I had no money on T10 because I was doing something stupid, like I was trolling and hyper rolling or something.
yeah,
Anytime I have just average amount of money, I expect to be able to evolve into Solgaleo by like turn 15 at worst.
yep.
So,
Um,
yep.
so
And yeah,
yeah,
Leo is better than Lunala just because its ability kind of keeps it safe, so it's more likely to 1v9. Like
yeah,
its ability makes it immune while it does the animation, and then it lands, it does a bunch of AoE damage. And if you give it like human or a shell bell, it'll just keep itself healthy.
yep.
Um,
It's also like
it doesn't even need that much AP investment because it's a freaking psychic type. Like
yeah.
you play 6 psychic and this thing does 500 damage each cast. That's probably an exaggeration, but not by
Dives in the
much.
middle of the team. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
a ridiculous amount. Especially like you'll notice any of the dive units are always seem to be really
yeah,
really good. Um,
yeah,
yeah, no, this thing is correct.
yeah.
What was it? I just grabbed something. What was it? It was Zorora.
Oh yeah, electric types.
um, I think it's
So
pretty
let
good.
me ask you how ridiculous would it be if they gave this thing field type?
Pretty insane. I mean, it wouldn't be terrible, but it's
Yeah.
a monkey, right?
I assume in the past, I know Field used to be a tyrant, and I assume in the past it like they didn't want to give it Field for that reason. But I
Yeah,
don't know,
electric
like
field used to be the thing.
yeah,
It wouldn't. I
like
mean, it wouldn't hate it. But I mean, as it is in both electric and fighting, this thing is super good in my
yeah,
opinion.
it's a really good mid game unit. I think it's like textbook the solid tier. Like it falls off. It's not going to carry you late game, but
Yeah,
it beats people up turn 10 to turn 20. Like it'll keep
so
you healthy.
feels like it's good. Yeah, it wouldn't be terrible for field. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
hate it. I like field.
Yeah, I'm here to get some more fighting field units for the weirdos who want to play that.
I'm not
But
because I hate man shell. That thing is ridiculous.
I think Mian Shao is hilarious.
It's
I can't believe
ridiculous. It was. I
it's
can't
allowed to do what it
believe
does.
it took so long to get it nerfed,
Yeah,
and it was just a
yeah,
baby nerf.
yeah,
No, the thing flew under the radar, but it was absurd.
yeah.
All right, these guys.
Synergy filler question mark.
It's either going bottom here or top of here for me.
Okay, if you're between those, I'll campaign for the meh tier. Because these are like manic trick holder perfect holders. Like you can slam your manic trick items on mine or either of them really, and
Yeah,
totally be happy selling it later. Like, and with like AP dashing item like choice specs, aqua egg, Stardust or whatever, like they'll win. They'll beat mid game boards. They have a really low PP cost. It's like 60 or something.
yep,
So like they will chew through boards. They just super fall off. They're
yeah. I just they're so
they're
bad.
not relevant late
They're
game.
better now.
Yeah, they're like a niche thing when you're playing Alolan Raichu, and that they give you instantly 3 electric
Yeah,
with your fairies, and then you can go play more fairies and
that's the problem. It baits you into electric fairy, and that's just not good.
yeah, yeah, it's not ideal, but I wouldn't put them yikes tier. I think you're happy to see them like in the middle turns of the game, and if you sell them, it's okay.
Yeah, out of the duos, I hate on these ones the most by far.
Mm.
Um, But yeah,
Yeah.
they're okay. Like I'll play them, but I like them better than this guy. I'll tell you that
True.
much. I put this guy
Yeah.
down here personally.
Yeah. It's strange. Like you would think Electric Dark would be
Dude, I've
like a
tried it
really
so
good
many
combo to
times.
explore. Like dust stoning your electric types, thunder stoning your dark types. Like it just it's not very consistent. I don't know.
I tried it so many times, especially back when a Alolan Golem was a hatch unit. I'd give it a Dust
True.
Stone, and I'd get like Frogadier and Gothitelle, and get
Yeah.
this guy and my Electric Dart, and like yeah, it'd win because of hatch units, but this guy still is just bad.
Yeah.
It's a
Like
little better now, but
yeah. I don't think it's a horrible unit. It's just every time I see it, if I'm playing electric, I'm like, maybe I should do something else. If I'm playing dark, maybe I should do something else.
yeah,
I don't think it's that bad. It's just I never am happy to see it.
it's not good. I mean, the thing is it's a unique and it's worse than a Alolan Raichu, and it has way worse synergies.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's another one of those one range mana spam or ability spam units with like a weaker ability.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Maybe it could be okay-ish if you give it a wide lens, but even then, it's going to jump around. That's the other part: is it jumps around and puts itself in danger as one of these units. I don't know. I just don't like it. We can move it up to here. I'd take
Yeah.
these two over this guy every time.
Yeah.
Um, I
I
can
don't
be
know.
persuaded. It's better with the PP overflow, but before it was atrocious, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I feel like it's not Kangaskhan levels of bad. Like I don't
Yeah, that's fair.
it can do things. It's just not very exciting.
I don't know. I
I'll commit to that spot. That spot's fine for it.
All right. We can
Maybe it'll
always
get
move it
demoted.
later.
Yeah, it might get demoted.
Um,
Um,
is
all
that
right. Was that all the
electric?
electric?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what type you want to knock out
Fighting?
now? Fighting. Okay.
Or
Brazion. Ooh. It's compared to Cavalion,
oh,
it's
it's worse, but
it's
I still
it's
like
bad.
it.
Yeah, it's probably just solid. I think it's like Zeraora. Like you're living with it in the middle of the game. It's there.
I think it's a
It's a
fine
frontline
unit.
body.
I
Yeah.
like using it in grass a lot. A lot of people don't like it, but and it's harder to use it in grass now because
I
grass
swear
just
I
doesn't
never
feel as
see it
good.
when I'm playing grass. I like
But I use it
I
in
don't know.
grass every like I
Yeah.
used to pivot for it all the time. But I also like
Mm,
grass fighting a lot, so
yeah.
which is it's harder to do now. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that seems like a fair spot.
I don't know.
It's
End of the
it's
day,
it,
it's
it's
100
not
true
exciting,
damage.
but it does its job. Yeah.
It's got a really good ability that's had to be nerfed a few times, like at the end of the day, and pairs well with Bound Sweet, which is just baby low punny. So
That's
um,
fine.
I don't know. You could be argued to be put lower, but some people like it better. But in fighting, it's also just really good. Plus, you can get
Yeah.
grass 3 pretty easily and get free berries. Um,
Yeah.
so
And fighting likes grass healing. So
yeah, Keldeo.
um
Some
so
people
yeah,
hate
Keldeo was
this.
like
Yeah.
Keldeo I thought was like sleeper like high on Crab's win rate chart. What was
Let
it?
me see. Where was it? It was it was in 2.9 to 3.2, right after the Lottie twins.
Yeah. I think Kelio's good. I've found myself like Iron Bundle when I'm playing it in water. I just itemize it mid game and then like those items should go in the Duosion. And I just sell it.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
but I think that's water suffers from like late game. It's so easy to just keep adding more and more powerful units on water. As a fighting unit, I think it has the nice niche of like its spell is just it's two range and its spell is unlike what a lot of fighting provides. So you get that
Yep.
the dashing effect that it's hard to keep your Keldeo locked down and it'll end up cleaning up.
Yep. You get the
So
range, you get the dash with a good
yeah.
ability.
I think I think it's more of a standout as a fighting unit than a water unit.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
I think it's good. It's like baby Regieleki kind of. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a worse range. Like, yeah, for
so
sure.
um, yeah, I mean, I guess we have some. I just realized we have Hitmonchan and Hitmontop in this row.
Yeah.
Are Keldeo and Virizion better as fighting units?
No, not in
Are
my
just
opinion.
humans too good? Okay.
The human's nice, but also the
Yeah.
fact that you can
Ability's
baby
good.
seven super easily, that gives these guys a lot of leeway, in my opinion.
True. Okay.
Um, so no,
Then
I wouldn't put him over it. The only is I don't even know if I put Zorora over it, to be honest.
yeah, maybe. I think in fighting, I'm happier to see Keldeo than Zeraora, and maybe Virizion too.
Yeah, that's fine. I would say this guy's better than Virizion, even though I love Virizion
Okay, that's fine.
personally. Just because of the self, I don't know. The true damage is nice, but
Either way.
it's hard to say. We'll throw it here. We'll change if we need to.
Okay.
um,
Is there any fighters left? Heracross on the far left.
okay, yeah, this guy. What do you think?
He's probably not yikes, but he cannot be better than Meh. he,
I'd put him over Min and Plusle, or at least over Morpeko.
I mean, it's weird because he's a bug. You can clone him. He's got decent base stats, but
It just never feels good. I mean, it pairs well with Pheromosa, and that's about it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'll put it here just for that interaction. But when you play fighting, like, you really want Marshadow or Perret anyways. So
yeah.
to
I
me,
think Meh Synergy Filler's good. Fine. Can you get? I actually didn't even think about that till just this moment. Can you get Meloetta Pirouette on a fighting portal?
no,
Or
not on
does it?
Fighting Portal. But
Okay.
there's so many
But
sound
you can
portals
go.
every
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Oh yeah, sure. You can just
So
walk into the sound portal and take it. But
yeah,
I'm just curious.
so
Okay.
you get the double bonus of denying one of the sound players that's spamming it over and over and getting
Yeah,
a really good
a
fighting
good unit.
unit. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
which, like, if there's not like ground teams in your game, it's arguably better than Marshadow anyways. So
Yeah. True. Okay.
um, but
I think that's it for
this should be
fighting
all for
type.
fighting. Yeah. Mm,
Um, how about the normal types?
normal.
There's a lot of them.
This one's surprisingly
Uh,
low ranking. Let's start with
yeah,
the
everyone is just wrong. Spenda is over
amazing.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this thing was like almost at the bottom of 3.3 to 3.5 average. I
Yeah.
put this thing.
Well, so partially its win rate probably suffered just because normal has not been great for the last few months.
That's fair. Yeah.
But it at its peak, it was the best normal unique, and it really hasn't been changed much. It's been slightly tweaked, but
Yeah. It got buffed a
um,
little.
yeah, there
So
was like a compensation buff, and then like a nerf because it was too good, and then I don't remember the exact things that have changed. I know it had, its passive had to get tweaked. For a
yeah.
while, it had no AP scaling, and they made that big pass to give everything an AP scaling, and I think that was
Yeah.
like
So now it gets
something
bonus
got
attack speed. So
yeah.
no,
But
to me, it's the best normal unique by
yeah,
far.
I think it's just yeah, normal rides through the success of Loudred, and Loudred wants long, slow fights. Spinda makes really long, slow fights. It's just
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good tank. It does solid damage. You can give it like bruiser items if you felt like it. You can give it tank items. And your late game, your team's not going to even suffer from the negative effect of the confusion because you play Chansey. Like
Yep. This is
it's good.
also one that, like, there's times I'll play it just as a random strong board, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
random
yeah.
light board or something.
It for sure. If for sure, I would say like I see Spenda. I'm considering switching to normal. Like if I see it, it's that level of powerful.
Yeah, if I get good items for it, definitely.
Yeah, like I'd probably check. Do I have a Nomicon for my Loudred? Do I have a mana item? And then if that's yes, I click it.
Yep.
So yeah.
So yeah, Tauros.
So which Tauros versus Miltank?
I think Miltank's better because
Okay,
it
I do
doesn't
too.
self damage and it gets the
Yeah,
buff defense.
I think Tauros is a nice solid unit.
Maybe put
Miltank.
Miltank here and Tauros like just below it, just barely.
So you think Miltank is like a standout normal field unit, or
I think. Well, let me think. I feel like Miltank's the one I like to get.
yeah,
For
I do
field
like Miltank
especially.
more.
Like, personally, I have an easier time playing. I mean, maybe not because I do a lot of field six with like psychic splash and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't even realize we put this up here. To be honest.
Yeah, we were talking about it as a wild unit, and it got upgraded because it was just a nice unit.
Yeah. Um,
um,
But yeah, I guess it could go. It's probably solid. It's just probably solid.
Yeah, I think I would put it high end of solid, and then Tauros is like
Maybe
lower
like
somewhere.
right here or something like that.
I kind of dislike Tauros.
Really,
I don't, like when I'm playing field. I think I just tend to play field in a way where I don't get a lot of Tauros value mid game, and I feel like it doesn't stabilize me like the other Uniques would. I don't know.
man, muscle band, wonder box. That thing goes to town for me. Or
Yeah.
amulet coin, wonder box, amulet coin, muscle band, fluffy tail, thunderstone, anything. I always have really good luck with Tauros personally.
It might be just user error. It might be bad luck. Who knows? But I would say Heatmore is more important than Tauros for sure. And like
Yeah,
maybe
Firefield's
yeah,
really
Firefield's
nice.
just good. Yeah, like yeah, high end of this group is probably where it goes.
I
I
put
might
top
like
over them.
Heatmore. I might like Heatmore more than Miltank, just in the context of like if you have a Firefield angle,
Yeah,
you just you turn your brain off. It's just good.
let me see. I mean, that's true, but like, I don't know. For me, Miltank's always been like the clutch unit, like the 1v6 unit or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Miltank is very,
whereas Heatmore, I don't really get that value personally.
you're happy to invest tank items into Miltank because it'll actually carry with them. Um, but Heatmore, like just hitting high amounts of fire field, I think is a huge deal.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
well, I'll put them here, but I think they're pretty interchangeable.
Okay,
Um, to me personally, I don't know.
sure.
Let's see. Oh, this guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Uh, so he was like really low on the data. I remember. Um, he's not a great flying unit. He's not a great ice unit. I think he's totally fine for field. I don't know. Like
He's okay, but like I'm never happy. I'm always
I,
considering looking for a
I
pivot.
yeah, I think putting him in yikes would be too reactionary, and I'm happy to just say he's meh.
Yeah, I might put him over Heracross. He's
Okay,
okay. I don't know.
yeah.
What do you think about that? I don't like.
I mean, there was I don't know if you read any of the like huge debate of the like his ability shouldn't
Yeah,
heal the opponent,
I don't
but
even care about his ability that much. I just don't think he's
yeah,
that great of a unit, to be honest. I don't know.
I
Uh,
he can hold items, and if you have to sell them, you sell them. Like he's 200 health, 20 attack. Occasionally, his ability cheats every once in a while. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, it's okay. I'm just never happy to get him
He's very
personally.
mad. He's very
Especially
mad.
like back when Swinub had ice, it was really
Yeah.
good because you could do ice
Yeah.
field.
Oh yeah. The ice field just it doesn't matter as much anymore because Suicune lost its ice type,
Yeah,
and lost its field type. So
but back then this would have been a lot better. But no, it's
yeah.
um, yeah. I don't ever pick this thing, to be honest. I never play it,
Yeah.
not anymore, anyways. Let me see. I think that's all our. Oh, we were doing normal, not field, weren't we?
Oh,
We just
sure.
pivoted into field, but
So
we're.
yeah, I didn't even notice.
uh,
So
this
yeah,
one's
Smeargle's in a weird
complicated.
spot where the release Smeargle was maybe the one of the most broken units Pack
Yeah,
has ever
it's
made,
like up
and
here.
then they fixed it. But also in between fixing it, he just wasn't in the game for a few patches for some reason.
Yeah.
And
They said, "Oh, I forgot."
yeah, like, oops, no Smeargles.
Yeah.
Solid is fine. Yeah, I
I
think
don't
this is
know.
fine.
I'll put a bomb solid because like you can still do some crazy stuff with it, like
Yeah,
Chansey.
yeah,
Um,
like human is relevant on teams that the where you're trying to get valuable casts. Like psychic human has a lot of high quality casts that you can use this on. Like Dawnstone Smeargle is kind of funny. Um, you can put it next to a Deoxys and just cheat. Like I think there's a lot of cases where he can be really abusive still.
yeah, there's
Um,
definitely some places where it's really nice, but it's one of those things where it's still not like a mid game carry really. That's what
yeah,
makes it a little tough.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to use because it gets more valuable the stronger its partners are, and you're not going to have great stuff on turn 10. Maybe you have an Alolan Raichu, then you put this next to it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay-ish. This is the same problem Aldino here has.
Yeah.
So just a spike crab, I'm just gonna. No.
um, like normal sound
It's really good
is
because of Perret.
yeah,
It's not good on its
yeah.
own.
It's
Synergy fill.
it's a very weird support unit in that like it's a soft form of silence, kind of like replacing their ability.
It's like a hard form of
Or
silence.
sorry, not a hard form, but like an
Yeah,
alternative form of
yeah.
silence. Yeah, and like
Because you
that
don't.
can
It's
be
not a
really
status.
it can be really toxic to certain teams, and then
Oh yeah.
other team like you play an 8 fireboard who's just like, what? My ability changed? Oh, who cares? Like I'm just killing you. Or
Right.
a steel board, like.
Yeah.
So it's really niche in getting a value out of its ability, but having another normal sound unit is actually really good because
But the thing
like
is like, if let's say you're facing this guy and you throw this
yeah,
guy out here with an aqua egg, boom, there goes
yeah,
your carry. Your team's done, and all of a sudden
yeah.
you're beating the best unit, right? So it's like it's a weird spot for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, being able to hit normal 7, sound 6 more consistently, or like at all, is I think very powerful.
yeah.
Um,
So like me personally, I would honestly put this up here, but I
yeah, I
know that
think
it's really not like amazing as a standalone unit. It's like its synergies and it's the niche times its ability goes crazy that
yeah,
like boost it for
I
me.
I think I put it in solid if I'm just like thinking about these tiers as in like how I would pick in the real context of a real game. I think
Yeah.
it's there.
I'd pick it a
I think
lot
it's
just because you
yeah,
play normal mid game, you get Perret, you pivot to Sound Six, and you
yeah,
just win. I
yeah,
mean, I mean
yeah.
that's how I feel
It's
about it. Like I don't know.
yeah, and I mean it's like it's a ranged unit at worst.
Yeah,
It's like a ranged normal unit,
it's not
which
that terrible. There's not many
yeah,
range normal units anyways, so
yeah.
it's nice to get them.
Um, this feels very
I
meta to me, but
really,
I don't use it that often. So
I
if you
think
have a
it's.
strong feeling about it,
I would put it like I'd put it honestly here. It can be pretty strong. It just takes a while to evolve. Um,
mm,
but I mean, it still holds pretty decent mid game and even value for me. I'd probably put it like we can put it like maybe here ish.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't mind playing it. Like if I'm playing normal, I'll still play this guy, and I don't. It doesn't bother me, especially if I'm going with like a baby 7 angle and just swapping him off the field till after turn 15, anyways.
yeah. I my reaction usually to Mousehold is like, oh, I guess I'll keep doing normal. Like, it's not enough to scare me from playing the comp, but I'm not never happy to see it.
Yeah,
So, and
it's
I don't think he's super relevant in Fairy other than like the niche cases where you care about the normal Fairy overlap. I've seen a few boards built around it, but
yeah, definitely
so
definitely not
yeah,
super. Like I've used it once or twice to counter like a dark team, but
yeah,
that's about it.
yeah.
It's not that crazy at all. Oh, Farfetched.
Uh,
I would put this guy probably here
yeah, I think
or even
he's
Uber.
I think he's a higher end of like the solid. He's like he fits like Virizion and Miltank and stuff. Like you just
Yeah.
he does his job. He's not winning you the game on his own, but he's a good power spike mid game. He does his job. Paralysis
Yep.
on a team is crazy.
Good for normal. Good for
Um,
flying. Um,
yeah,
he's like
yep,
he's Pidgeotto with a little bit of juice. That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
he does a good job. Not a bad amulet coin holder.
No,
I like him,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not
The,
crazy.
the AOE paralysis can be like matchup winning
Yeah,
sometimes as well. So
most definitely. Um, I think is that all the normal? No, Cyclozar.
um,
This one might be interesting.
It's so I really value him, but that's just because like Altaria, like playing a normal dragon is really strong. Like you can hit dragon 7 or normal 7 sound 6 via dragons, which used to be a big deal because that was the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Now we have the Audino. It's got a really strong support ability. It stalls. It's very defensive. I
Wait. So what do
I
you
think
think?
I think in a normal team, I like it more than Miltank, just because
Interesting.
it's very stally. But
I hmm. I
it's
don't
awkward to
for
play as a
normal
drag.
Steam.
It's awkward to play as a dragon, just because dragon's not going to be playing normal activators usually, or in any way that matters. So like I'm analyzing it mostly as a normal unit, and I think it's really nice for normal. But
Me per like I would put it I'd put it over Drud for dragons. I don't like it better than Miltank personally for normal. But I see what you mean. Like it is good and it has that late game value. It's really good in Dragon. It's not as good as it used to be. Used to there was some really nice spots where you could do like Stalk or solo Dragon Water stuff with this.
mm,
Um, but
yeah,
it's definitely not a
its
great
ability
carry.
is really strong. I guess I'm undervaluing it on dragon boards a little bit just because you just ignore the normal type. But Shed is crazy.
Yeah, it's just the
Shed
problem
Tail
is
does a lot.
you need a damage carry for your T10 for Dragon usually, or
Yeah.
you wait for Gyarados or whatever. That's what makes it tough. I let's see, maybe we drop all the normals below here, put it like here.
Sure.
Okay.
That's
Um,
fine.
yeah, I like this unit. He's another one of those weird like niche ones. Like you kind of have to do some funky stuff to get all the value out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, it's awkward putting your like mana items on your utility unit, but I think Cyclizar can abuse them sometimes.
oh
So
yeah, it is fun to face one when you're playing monster with an amulet coin though.
true. Yeah. Giving money to your opponent is a good plan.
Yeah,
Maybe we can knock out the dragons then. I think that was the last normal type.
sure.
And can we put Draco and or yeah, you can move this one first. I was gonna say Reggie Drago. Can we put that in yikes, please? I hate that unit so much.
Really,
I
that's crazy. No, I'm just kidding.
it's like
I'd put
power
it
wise, I
here.
recognize it's not really that bad, but I despise
All right,
Draco. I hate it so much.
you got to save more Petco. I'm gonna save Reggie Drago. It's still a
Okay.
ranged dragon. X-rays and
Yeah.
fire gem, and it goes insane.
Yeah. It,
Like I can't put it next to Kangaskhan and Dolmais. It's still a dragon, but
that's fine.
it's kind of meh.
I'll accept it. Its ability probably should change to something else. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it like Dragon used to grant directly health instead of shield,
right. That
and
helped it a lot because it
its
used to
ability,
one shot anything, but
yeah, and so
it still mostly does, but not nearly as much.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's not as great as it once was, but at the end of the day, like I said, still a ranged dragon, which you kind of lack a
yeah.
lot of times.
On the like average like week dragon opener where like my board's like a Horsey, a Charmeleon, and a Bagon maybe like Drago Drago's gonna die because I don't have good like once I start getting other dragons, then the Drago's protected enough to like actually kill things, and then it's
Right.
relevant. But I just hate it because if I'm playing dragon, I'm usually lost streaking, and I need a stabilizer, and Drago doesn't stabilize my dragon usually. So
Yeah, that's fair. I will say it's definitely the worst dragon you need. I won't
yeah,
argue that, but I don't think it's quite yikes for me.
yeah, that's fine.
um, the other Draco.
Yeah,
Um,
Drakefish, probably solid. I
yeah,
think still really highly value. Dragon Fossil is good. The
I mean, I
the
got to put it over Drud, right? Like, I can't put it under
yeah,
Drud.
the aquatic splash is like aquatic's good, but you're playing dragon, so you're gonna already have aquatic like nine other ways. But
But
yeah,
it's the
I
fossil that makes it
the,
strong,
fo-
doubling
the yeah
fossil.
yeah the fact that you're playing dragon, you now have this doubled fossil. It makes any other uh old amber's like just so much higher value
Yeah,
because
especially with
you,
Tyrannotrum Edition or
oh yeah,
Haxorus
Tyrantrum
Hatch.
is
Like,
yeah, oh yeah, it's really good.
yeah,
It's like a solid frontline bruiser like many of the other things next to it, but it has the advantage of just premium synergies.
yeah.
So
Like, it's a synergy filler that also gets a lot of kills. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice. I mean,
yeah,
it's not bad. You give it some attack speed, and Fish's Run goes crazy. So,
yeah. I mean, like even just a muscle band where you just have like the base component attack speed, it
yeah.
triggers the ability versus anyone who has no attack speed investment. So it's good.
Lotties. What are you
Lotties.
thinking? I put them up here somewhere personally.
Um,
I'm
they're
just gonna
weird in
set
that
them
like
here.
you never want to really put items on them, but they're really powerful. So
But I think they're powerful even without items. But
yeah,
there are
yeah,
times I
yeah.
itemize it and like I'll
I mean,
itemize
like if you're
one.
the fact that Dawnstone, just like Old Amber becoming like really high value, Dawnstone's
Yeah,
becoming super high value the moment you have the Lotties on your dragon board. I think is good. It's
me personally, I
yeah.
put them about right here.
I I
What do
think
you
that's
think?
okay. I think that's fair. I know that matches the data. I know they do pretty well in the data.
Yeah,
They're probably pretty like beginner friendly because you get two dragons.
I think
Like
they're not though. That's the thing because like I used to just instantly lose every time I got them, and I hear a lot of new players saying they hate these guys,
huh.
which is weird,
I
right? But
Yeah,
um,
I don't know that. I mean, they're weird because usually you want to put your carry items on your T10, and now you're like, wait, if I do that, do I have to sell it later?
right,
And the answer is like sometimes, yeah. Like
yeah,
sometimes the correct play is to itemize Latios and sell it later. But if you can live mid game without having to waste items on these things, free four psychic, put a Dawnstone on your Rayquaza, and you're winning.
yeah,
It's
huge.
really good. It's very strong. Dawnstone on your Altaria, like
Also, getting
you're
just two
happy.
dragons that are
And yeah,
3-star, and you don't
two
have
three
to
stars.
evolve. Like,
Yeah,
um, yeah, and I will say, like I said, lately a couple times I used to never put items on them unless I just had like maybe I'd slammed like an aqua egg early. Maybe I'd give that to one of them or something, right?
yeah.
Um, but lately, I've been actually taking one of them, putting them in the bottom right corner, giving it some like attack speed, amulet coin, and they've been printing for me, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean they're three range dragons, which
yeah,
is like
5 gold
kind of crazy.
around
So
kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean
So
I could buy giving them the like on hit stuff because they have low base attack, but if you have that why is my mind blinking? The fire gem,
yep.
fire gem attack speed items, they can go pretty crazy. So I don't I can see it.
But yeah, they can be awkward at times, but
Yeah,
I think they're definitely the best dragon pick for unique. Um,
yeah, they're
do
good.
we have Nagandel? I mean, I guess this is probably the best dragon pick if you can
Eh,
evolve it,
yeah, I mean you have
just
to go
because you
through a
get two of them.
poison. You have to go through a poison bug first, but yeah, um,
But I'm saying, oh
yeah,
yeah, I mean it's good because of that. But I'm saying also if you use it for dragon, like if you evolve it, unlimited scaling, you get two of them. The same stat is
yeah,
still probably the best one if you can get to it.
sure.
That should be all the dragons. So to the rocks, the old Keldon.
Huh.
All right, well we have to just do this, right? So we don't get banned.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We'll just leave them there.
Yeah.
I put him in solid. I think
He is
he's way
better
better
than
than
Reggie
this
Still.
one. Yeah,
Yeah. Like you can actually use the rock synergy more flexibly, like than Steel is very restrictive and Reggie Steel doesn't usually work.
it's
Yeah,
hard to
I don't know.
say. I put
I
him like here personally, but because if I get like a smooth rock or even augur, like I'll use this guy for anything. I'll just give him a stone and screw around. But
Yeah, like I'm not unhappy to see him, but I don't feel very excited. So that might make him a meh unit for
yeah,
me.
he probably goes here, but
Yeah.
in our hearts, he's up here, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure, for
all
sure.
right. Minior. I really like this unit.
Oh yeah. It's like
Um,
cast form. Put it next to cast form, I think.
yeah, I'd even
I think it's that good.
I'll put it right below cast form.
Yeah.
I personally I'd put
Stantler
these
might
two
be
over
the lower.
Stantler.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, for anyone being like, what the heck? I've tried Mini or it sucks. Rock doesn't have ranged units, like generally speaking, and
yeah,
having a ranged backliner in Rock is insane. Like you get a free front line from your synergy. You just have to know how to itemize the Minior. But as we were saying before, like those on hit attack speed stuff, like Fire Gem, X Ray, Minior will melt stuff.
yeah.
It's really good.
It has built-in upgrade and choice scarf for free as well, which is
Yes. Yeah.
insane. And
Yeah.
it just got buffed, so now it has scaling on all of its abilities. So like, it might not be
Yeah.
bad to give it choice specs or soul dew and a rock
True.
comp. Uh,
Yeah.
So I
It's
haven't.
very good. It's a little harder to use in flying, but even then, I'm not like that upset to see it in flying
I'm
comps.
still not mad about it. It's
Yeah.
like I said,
So
it's still a free upgrade choice scarf unit. Like I'm always happy with that.
yeah,
So
yeah. So it's very powerful.
Sableye. I'd put Sableye up here. What are you thinking?
Hmm.
Like I put him
Its
over
abil its
Absol.
its ability is really good. It is
Its stats are
rock dark.
lackluster, but it
It's
has like the
rock
best
dark
typing.
ghost. Yeah, I think this is our like. I keep forgetting like Uber is A tier. Yeah, this is an A tier unit for sure.
Yeah,
It's good.
I'd
It's
put it below Lottie's, but I'd put it over Absol.
yeah, like if you're playing a dark rock comp, this is your best hit.
Yeah, and
Um,
Ghost is huge.
Ghost is a happy splash. Like
Yeah,
it's got really high quality stuff, and it provides a niche ability that like can win you fights that you might otherwise lose.
yeah,
So
very much so.
um,
Especially against like Fluffy Tail carries and or like a
yeah,
Dynamax Band Fluffy Tail combo. If you can
yeah.
knock it off, you know.
There's a Soul Do like stack attacker that you can't break.
Right.
Sableye says hello.
And then all of a sudden your ghost hits them and flinches them and you just kill them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. This guy, how do you feel?
B is B tier, solid tier. I think he's like good. Rock fossil good.
I'm
It's
happy
harder
to
to use the
put him
water
like
rock.
here personally,
Yeah,
but
he's a very high quality
yeah,
unit. I don't think he's like Sableye or
right.
many
Rock
more levels of.
Fossil's crazy. And if you
Yeah,
get
rock fossil's good. The
like
water is
AP on
sometimes
him,
relevant.
he's AP on him, he
Yeah,
goes nuts too.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, definitely typing difference. Same thing as this guy, but I might put him like one step lower. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I kind of think Aerodactyl's synergy is a little easier to use just because there's a few fossil flyings that you can play off of. But
There's a lot of fossil water stuff that used to be
true.
super
Okay,
popular.
that's true. Yeah, it's just the new water is not as like old
Yeah, you
water.
don't get
You
the
would get
dodge.
dodge,
Yeah,
and that was really relevant for these like melee fighters. New water is good, but not as important. And if you're playing like a fossil rock water thing, like you might have 6 water at most. I don't know.
yeah.
Like
That's
and
usually
like
what I would go for.
yeah, like water starts being kind of good at like 6, and it's not great less than 6. So if you're not playing 6 water on your fossil
Yeah.
rigid or Relicanth, I don't know.
So like for me, like I said, Relicanth I think is really good with AP. I think Crab plays it the same way.
Yeah,
Like
he's
choice
got
specs or something.
yeah he's got awkward base attack, so you kind of have to stick some AP on him. But he does chunk people,
Yeah, and
and
then
and then the water synergy is good for that.
a
Like
lot of
he's
rock units in general are good with AP. Like it's awkward, but they are.
yeah,
um,
and like if I'm playing water and I don't hit Lapras, you know Relicanth might be the next best thing, maybe.
yeah,
There's not a lot of great water uniques, so
that's true. Yeah, I mean
a lot of the water uniques you're
Keldeo
more happy to see them
maybe.
elsewhere. Like Kelio's good, but you're like,
Yeah,
it's not a big deal for water.
it's
So
like not that amazing. Yeah, yeah, I'd probably rather see Relicanth more often than not, just
yeah,
because you do
that's
get a
fine.
couple water fossils. Stonejourner.
We started to police the rock ground combination, and he's here to say no. He's here to say rock ground is still a thing.
Yeah,
He's got to be solid, right?
he's another one that's kind of tough to use.
He's really awkward to use, but he's a rock ground type.
I like him a lot, but
I don't know
the
if I have to
problem
argue
is
beyond that.
no, yeah, the problem is just when you get I'll put him like here when you don't have like evolutions and you're trying to pivot into ground. Like this
Yeah,
guy's not about to carry you, so
yeah.
you have to roll for some uncommon 2 stars or common 2 stars. If you have common 2 stars and you one streak into T10, then you get him. He's great.
Mm.
That and I think a lot of like newer players struggle to use this guy as well. I don't really
Yeah, I
understand the
mean
power spot.
the giving AP to its neighbors is also just like free stats.
Yeah,
I don't know.
super good,
I
but
like
also
seeing
light
him.
typing. So
Yeah, yeah. He's
light
awkward, but
typing.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Plus, a little Stonehenge guy. He's cool.
yeah.
Um, Shuckle, my boy. All right. enough said. Lunaton. All right,
Yeah.
let's.
He's so yeah. Man, do I wish Shuckle was good
Me too.
because he's very cool. Rock Bug doesn't have a lot of support at the moment to abuse that combination.
He's good in grass. So
There
that's
you go.
about it.
Um,
He's okay in rock.
when you're playing Bug, getting this like weird defensive unit is like sometimes really awkward. If you're
Yeah,
playing Rock, he's not high up on the list, so like
he's okay for
yeah,
rock, but he's not like you have to
he's
get a little weird with like the rock four, bug four, strong board kind of
yeah,
stuff.
like Shell Trap occasionally pretends that you're like Wobbuffet and like does a surprise AOE that kills a bunch of stuff,
Yeah,
but it's just so inconsistent.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I agree.
yeah,
I've tried to
I,
make this work so many times to make a video, and I failed like six
yeah.
times already.
I don't know. Is he actually secretly yikes? I really don't want
No,
to
no,
do that.
no. I can't do it. I won't. I
Okay.
refuse.
Okay.
He
Well
can.
then,
We can move on.
like he has 4 attack.
Yeah.
Like they embraced his real stats where he's defensive focused. So it's
He's
the
the
defenses
goat,
are
man.
crazy,
He's the best
but
to ever
like he
do it.
does no damage unless you get like a meme shell trap off, and
He's the best to ever do it.
I
He's
don't know.
my goat.
I mean, I've with my gourmet proposal, he might get a little fan service there, so maybe
Hey,
he'll be good.
I hope he'll be
Maybe he'll
better.
be good next year or something. Who knows?
We'll
But
see. I'm
yeah,
excited for it. I love my
yeah,
boy Shuckle.
yeah.
And to be fair, on those ones where I'm not like getting a video, it's not like I'm losing. I'm getting like second or third. It's just
Yeah.
it's really hard
It's
hard
hard
to
to
like
feature
call
him.
that top one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least like in good lobbies, because I mostly play 11, 1200 plus lobbies, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it can be difficult. But that's my boy.
I think the only rocks left are the moon and the
Sora,
sun.
yeah.
Um.
This was really good for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. With the weird PP overflow and like scaling itself shenanigans.
Yeah, like crit cast Lunatone, like second cast, you were given like 200 AP to everyone, and
Yeah.
it was ridiculous for a little bit. I don't know. I'd put it like here, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Solric's better.
I think the
Just because.
opposite, just because Dark
Well,
Rock, but
I
Firelight is
think.
also good.
Yeah, it's tricky. Personally, I am more excited by Lunatone. Like I tried to like build Lunatone comps if I randomly see it. Like I love
Yeah,
doing dark typed Gardevoir play into the Lunatone, that kind of thing.
yeah, especially like a
Crit caster.
Gothitelle, like it's
Yeah,
always fun.
but Solrock has such an easy floor of its Firelight. Like
I still think
you
it's
pick.
synergy fill for both of them though,
Yeah, that might be true. Yeah, I mean all 3 of those
because I'm
light
not
units.
itemizing this guy at all. Sometimes I give this guy some items just to screw around, but even then,
Yeah,
it's just a meme.
yeah. Yeah, that's fine. They're a little weird to use. I would say like Solrock has the upside if you're desperate, like Fire 6, you have a Solrock on your board, you could give it some attack speed.
You
You know,
can, but
it'll keep you healthy-ish. I don't know.
I don't.
If you're playing a fire comp that's not actually gonna use the light later, maybe. Also, Rock type has actually the what's it called? The Heat Rock occasionally lets you do some stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's some options. I'll put them here just because rock, light, dark, good. But the units themselves are kind of underwhelming to me.
I would drop them back down the synergy filler if we both think they're kind of underwhelming.
All
I
right,
think it's fine. They're
yeah. I'm usually never happy to get them. I mean, they're not bad.
we're given the amount of justification we're trying to say it's for like why to give them items. They're probably there. They're probably meh.
I gotta be in a bad spot to itemize this guy.
Yeah.
Just personally, I don't like it. That's all the rocks.
All right.
Hit our last Reggie. This guy's actually kind of sick, dude.
I think he's the best of the Reggies.
Sorry, not
classic
that
Reggies.
Yeah.
He's better than Rock and Steel for sure. Solid is probably where I put him. You give this thing some AP, it like
probably put him like right here, maybe even here.
That seems fine. Like
the
clear reason to be building
stats.
a weird ice board in mid game is Lapras, but if you hit Reggie Ice, like you're not completely screwed. You can stay healthy.
You also don't have to build it
Um,
with ice at all. Like it's just a
yeah, yeah,
super good stat unit.
yeah. It's tanky,
Good
20
ability.
attack, 80 base damage AoE move around it. Like it can use a variety of items. It's very effective.
10 special defense with ice typing seems crazy as a base stat.
Yeah, it is kind of challenging, I guess, to usually like justify its synergies. So it has that weird thing where like sometimes you just play it as a frontliner and you're
Yeah,
not even playing
it's just
ice,
there.
or
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Um,
I guess for a new player, I can say Reggie Ice is good enough to pick. Where if you whiff for your portal for some reason, you really need a frontliner, pick the Reggie Ice. It's good. It's a
yeah,
nice filler stand-in for mid game.
I like it. It's a
Yeah.
good stats. Dark units.
Okay.
This one's getting
Um.
changed soon.
Yeah. If it's getting the sleep, I mean, like Dark Ghost Amorphous, good,
It's amazing.
good,
Yeah.
good. It's good good, really good synergies.
I would maybe put it here for now.
Uh,
Not
yeah,
necessarily for dark, but for the ghost amorphous angle.
yeah, it's definitely the better of the Ghost Amorphs than Mimikyu. So yeah, yeah, I think that's a fair place to put it. I'm usually pretty happy to see it, I guess.
It's
Like,
also a good. I mean, it's
um,
not a bad carry. I like
yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah.
attack speed and damage
The
items.
worst part of it is it's two range, but like,
Yeah,
you know, it'll 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 work with most carry items. Like I consistently see this thing clean up boards.
yeah,
I think
I
it's
100%. I mean, I like it.
I think I'm happy up there.
I might move it right here,
Sure.
just over Stantler. Um, so I guess we talked about Mimikyu. I think this guy's kind of like maybe down here, maybe even meh.
Yeah, I mean, he's really kind of awkward to use, but he is a ghost amorphous.
Right.
uh,
It was really good for a couple patches during Fairy
yeah,
Dark.
yeah. Giving this thing a dust stone with fairy was hilarious, but
I
I don't know. It's
maybe here just because it's typing.
yeah. I think that's fine.
It
It's
feels
not
bad to put a
awful.
typing unit in solid, but like
Like,
sometimes it's
I
there.
mean, it's like some of the things next to it where they're a frontliner filler
Yeah,
that
I
are like
mean,
decent.
you also get like stalling, with its broken
Protect.
protect and stuff,
Yeah,
like which is good for its typing.
yeah.
Um, so like it's got crack typing. Hoopa, I
This thing, I was surprised to see where it was in the data.
on
I
HL.
don't rate it very highly, but I think it was average place at 3.3. It's like middle of the pack. I don't know. I don't think very highly of Hoop.
It's
But
fair. I like it as similar to this guy for dark psychic stuff or psychic ghost,
yeah,
but it's also a dark ghost, and I mean it's a solid unit with good ability. I might put it like here, maybe. I like it. Like I'm happy to pick it with dark every time I get it.
yeah. It's about the same as Mimikyu to me, I guess. So sure.
Maybe right above Mimikyu. I'm more happy to get this guy. I think just because psychic and ghost are super good, and dark is also good.
Yeah,
But I mean, his ability, like Hoopa cleans up. You give him like a muscle band, like I don't know. To me, she's pretty
sure.
good. I don't know.
It's
Um,
about right in the middle of the screen right now, and I think that's where I would put it. So that's
yeah,
fine with me.
that's fine. That's all the dark. Yeah, morph.
Yeah, we sure.
This thing's
I
weird.
This is a weird unit to. It's really low in the data, but I mean that's for obvious reasons. It's like a technically squishy unit, but it heals itself, and then it has
Right.
this death synergy. I would feel weird putting it in Yikes, but
It might have to. I don't know, but it's
I don't know.
fun, but it's not
Yeah, it's
good.
fun to use. It's synergy filler in
Yeah.
its best scenario. I think that's like you can build water amorphous off of it. Like it's relevant. You can sometimes do poison amorphous off of it. You could just play mono amorphous. It can hold tank items. I think anyone putting AP on this is trolling, even though it's really funny.
Yeah, I did it as a
Um,
troll once or twice.
yeah, I put a soul dew on it just because it like doesn't die, and then if it does die, everything next to it explodes.
Yeah, it
But
just becomes an absorb bulb.
yeah, but I don't know. it's hard to value like a weird utility tank like this.
It's definitely like a troll unit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I like it more than Shuckle.
no. That's a sin to say. How dare you?
uh, I might be biased because I spammed a lot of Water Psychic a month ago,
Oh,
and it showed up
cringe.
enough to matter. But
This guy. No. I
yeah,
used him once or twice just to mess around with this guy, but it was fun. But it's not
I
like
think the
good.
the most awkward thing is like he messes up your poison portals
Yeah.
because I'm not really happy to see him when I'm playing poison. Like he's
No,
like,
not at
ah,
all.
it's like, great, now I've got to make
Yeah.
this weird tank thing work. So
Now I gotta go amorphous.
yeah, yeah,
um,
change my plan. That's
yeah.
fine where it is.
I think it's pretty low. There's one sound unit left, right?
Yeah,
This guy is
I
pretty
would,
low in the data, but
which I would put him up in A tier, Uber tier. Honestly, I think he's good.
I think he's Uber tier solely because of flying.
Yeah, he's really good in flying. Like flying, um,
Maybe A
has a
tier.
few incentives to play Pokenomicon across some of its units, and this is one of them. Like
Yep.
Nomicon on your flying board goes crazy.
Flying sound is
Uh,
also a thing,
well, yeah,
buffing your
Flying
own
Sound has
attack.
your Zubat. You've got
Um,
Swoobat sometimes. You've got Noibat sometimes. Like
all the
there's
bets.
some units there. Yeah, all the bats.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can play into Dragon Flying, which has some Dragon Sound units. There's some interesting overlap. But even if I wasn't playing any sound, I'd be happy to use Chatot on my flying board.
Yep.
And
It's
the only reason he's like frowned upon is just because he's not Chimecho.
right.
Like
Like for
he's
sound, it's not the
he's
same.
still really good, but
I've gotten this guy in pivoted late game flying plenty of times though, and it's always worked
yeah.
out well.
Yeah, that's it. Like he can hold you mid game and buy you plenty of time to get to level 8 and switch in some flying units. He's
Yep.
good. He's very good. Yeah, at
Wild
least
River
A
with
tier.
confusion is always good. I like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
This is another interesting one. Comfy.
I don't feel comfortable rating this one, given that I barely use it.
Really?
But I watch people use it, and it seems effective, and
You're
it's one of those like
sleeping.
really low floor units, but really high ceiling. Like you can do crazy stuff. Like it's like Smeargle in my eyes. Like you can do some really crazy stuff with it, and then
I think it's quite a bit better than Smeargle though, because you can
it, it,
turn
it probably
like
is.
any 2-star into like a mid game carry until you get like a good abusable unit for it.
Yeah,
For a while, I would have said it was the best fairy unit outside of Tapu.
yeah.
Um, maybe even over Tapu.
If you think it's A tier, I trust you. Like I can fully understand its potential.
If we've
I
got
don't have a lot of
Gliscor
tools.
here, I might put it like top of solid, but it's
Sure.
very close. Like I
Okay.
don't know, I would take it over Stantler most of the time.
Okay.
Especially if you've
Yeah,
got like a
I know some people
Raichu.
love it. I know some people play a lot of fairy and click it all the time.
Yeah.
I very rarely have it show up in my portals.
If you've got
So
any kind of decent like carry, like a Alolan Raichu, or even like a Hatenna fully evolved, like Hatterene,
yeah,
or you give it to like Torterra or anything like that, like it's super good unit.
yeah.
Um, it's just it's niche. It's kind of weird.
Hmm.
So here's another weird one. Love Disc. I haven't tried it
Yeah,
yet,
it's awful in the data because it's new and weird.
but it's
But like
experience share unit.
reading its tooltip, I would have to assume it's good. Like it
That's
just
what I would
sounds good.
think, but I haven't tried it. And Crab says it's
Yeah, I haven't
trash.
had it. I haven't had a chance to play it. I mean, I guess I can read it, look at its tooltip again, just to
Yeah, it's. I
kind of
mean,
think about
it's
it
just
more. But
experience, double experience share, but as a
yeah,
Pokemon instead of
yeah,
a
yeah. It
item.
shares AP, it shares attack, defense, special defense. Like this thing has to be strong. It
But
has it
yeah,
has a 60 PP charm. Like
yeah.
I, it's 3 range. I think this thing has to be good. I don't
I,
know. I'd put it at least solid.
I'm gonna put it underneath Smeargle just because we haven't tried it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, but yeah, I feel like it's not gonna be a mid game carry at all. But if you get to
No,
late
it's
game,
it's it's definitely one that new
like,
players are going to struggle to take advantage of because they already are not optimizing experience share.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that thing
um,
got buffed.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I want to use it. It looks cool. I get it suffers a little bit from the like mana fee problem where it's not saving you from your water turn 10 pitfall.
Right. I think
Um,
it's the kind of thing you don't even want to play in water. If I had to guess,
it may not even you might not even need to play it in water. Like if it just randomly it's one like your randomized sixth option, you might just
Yeah,
say, sure.
just
I don't
pivot
know.
like I don't know, artificial steel something like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
super statted unit. Mm,
true. Yeah, like I play random uniques and artificial all the time. I could definitely see myself playing a love disc in an artificial board.
yeah,
So
I it seems interesting, but I haven't got it tested yet. Bruxish though,
yeah,
this guy,
the weird interactions with like experience share and like the light square and stuff like that also make me think like you could do some really wacky stuff with love
yeah,
disc. So yeah.
for sure. All right, this guy,
Um,
he had a couple months to shine.
yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So the reason he's awful in the data is he's like the water boards pick Bruxish and he's like a frail attacker and he dies and he's not saving you. Like he's not Lappers. He's not going to keep you alive. Psychic boards really don't have early game. Like
I
it's
love to
more of a
have
pivot
him.
comp
Yeah,
anyways. And they're he's there. He exists. He's like kind of a frontliner for Psychic.
I'm happy to
Um,
get him in psychic.
but
I mean, what
he's
other?
water Psychic is so good. So I rate Brooks this really highly, but he has a pretty awful win rate. So
The problem
like,
is water psychic's hard to pull off now. Thank God.
yeah,
That
they
thing's
made it harder.
garbage.
This has to be at least solid tier. I think like
I'd put it.
it's probably too much. He's not really a great unit on his own, but he has one of the best type combinations. So
I'd put it under Hoopa.
yeah,
I'll put it
like
here.
he can kind of be a frontliner for your psychic team, and more importantly, he lets you play into water psychic. And despite it being nerfed, if you hit the high roll, it's still insane,
Still
insanely
insane,
high
but I hate
power.
water psychics. So I never play it. I don't
Yeah.
like water, and I don't like cringe AP abuse. So
Mm.
what I call cringe, everything I'm not playing at the time. You
There
know
you
how that
go.
works. My
Yeah.
opinion.
Yep.
Screw the facts.
Yeah.
um,
So I think it's fine right there.
it's a good unit. It's just a funny fish. I remember when it first dropped. I had no idea how to use it, and I
Yeah.
failed. Let's see. We're talking about psychic. We got the old Timmy Turner PFP.
Yeah.
Um,
I still don't really have their new abilities. Like I don't
they
have a
got
lot
new
of games where I see
abilities.
that.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I so Yuxi got a funny it gives you XP every time it casts beam.
Oh.
Which I got to use that during the water psychic week. I put a water stone on Yuxi and printed experience. It was kind of funny, but it's one of those that's really hard to evaluate, like the value
Yeah.
of Yuxi, gaining you XP. So he's kind of basically what he used to be with a small
It's
upside. But
essentially 1 gold per cast.
Azelf got an
Nasty
attack buff.
plot.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
So
nasty plot though. That's kind of.
yeah, he was he confusion before. I forget what he like. He was a status applier,
It was
right?
like, yeah, like charm or confuse or sleep or something. I don't know.
Uh,
Which it wasn't great anyways.
I know. Mesprit was the charm, so he was. If he
Okay.
was a status, he was something else. But yeah, I don't know. Their abilities all got like slight power upgrades because they've been just like bad.
I guess it's okay because of psychic, because like you'll get like what 25 attack per cast.
Yeah,
So
I think there's place to make weird stuff with Azelf. Like he lets you have like this attack carry on your psychic board.
I think we're gonna
If
do
you're
these two here, maybe
that might be fine.
synergy fill. Used to Uxie, I would have put like top of solid with its old
I
or
mean, it
middle
has the same.
solid.
Uxie has the same effect. It's just it also gives you experience.
Oh,
It
it does.
copies the
Oh,
opponent.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it copies the opponent, but it also gives you experience. So
I would put this maybe here ish.
sure.
I
Yeah.
really like it because like you target a random chancy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because you copy it at the highest tier for abilities. I think it's pretty insane. You copy Solgaleo. I've cleaned up doing that. This guy I would probably put here as well. I don't know, maybe below.
Yeah, it's I think I don't so it currently it charms two things and it now has this extra effect of reducing their attack. I don't think it
Yeah,
used to do that part. I
yeah,
kind of I think I only remember it charming. So
yeah. That
I don't know.
sounds
I
right
don't
to
know
me.
I don't I don't know how high to value this like
I still
charm and
think it's the
attack
one
reduction.
I'm picking the least out of the others, right?
Yeah, probably.
So
I think
it's
there's some interesting exploration to do with as elf on a psychic fairy board.
yeah,
Just because new fairy lets you
seems
leverage a
interesting.
crazy attack
Yeah,
stat.
this could be
There could be some
up here.
secret
I
sauce
might
to cook right there.
I'll do it here just because old Timmy PFP, but
There you go.
or the old Avatar. Yeah, there
Yeah.
could be some interesting stuff with that. It's all the
Yeah.
psychics. So I guess these guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bug twins have to be really high.
I'm thinking either Uber or maybe Uber.
I think I would put them in A, yeah, Uber, and then like start considering some things to jump up because I think they're like high end of A, but I don't know if I would say they're like
So
I, like if you see bug twins, do you switch to them no matter what you're playing?
no,
Yeah, I feel like you're playing bug flying, super happy. You're playing light, super happy.
but if I'm like just not playing anything and I'm going for like a strong board, like this is kind of the pick.
Yeah.
It's the thing. I
Yeah,
still
like they're
think
they're they're two decently statted bodies, and they automatically clone each other and activate light too. So like
maybe we
they,
should
they have a good
move
they have
like
a good floor.
this guy, and maybe Spenda. Get rid
Yeah,
of him. These
yeah,
are
I
ones
think I
like I
think
would play outside of their synergies too, and I wouldn't be mad about it.
I tend to agree on that. Yeah,
I feel like Chowdot feels low to me.
yeah. Chatot has probably is next to the those two. Because like in a flying board, it's a tough debate. Do I want which one do I want?
Like I've
Um,
pivoted full time, like full for Chowdot, and like done really well with it.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, I think both of us are probably like overvaluing sound because we probably understand how to pivot around it. It's
yeah.
it's a really high
I
ceiling.
mean, even pivoting for flying, like I do that more
Or
often now
yeah,
with this guy.
true,
Um, he's just that team wide confusion burn Bluecon on it, like it goes
yeah,
crazy.
sure,
um,
yeah. That seems fine.
Tropius,
I was.
solid
I
maybe.
think this was another one that stood out when I was looking at the rink. I would put him just solid. Like I think he's not my top pick for flying. He's not my top
Oh,
pick for grass. He's not
super
my
high.
top pick for flora. But he's got a good win rate.
I'm like
Um,
maybe right above Verizian. I like Verizian better, but this guy I think is
yeah,
just better for the berries.
yeah.
Um,
It
maybe better than Keldeo too, because grass flora, three berries. But yeah, it's not one like I pivot around.
yeah.
Maracti.
The
Oh, go
Yeah, he
ahead.
was a two. He was a. I was trying to find the number. He was a 2.9 average win rate. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is a little shocking, but I mean, grass floor
Yeah,
is very beginner friendly.
yeah, yeah.
So
He's the highest grass type, I think. No, no, Bulu's above him. Never mind. Okay, he's the
yeah,
second highest grass type. So yeah, that seems fine.
Maractus. I see people
Um,
like this. I do not.
I would put him around Solrock. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think he's awful. He's better than a lot of things in the med tier, but um,
I put him like maybe between these two.
sure.
I take
Yeah,
Solrock over Maractus.
like he in a grass flora board, he's the guy who's baiting you to play Torterra. I mean, I guess Torterra's not as bad as it used to be, but
Right, used to this was dog
yeah.
water.
And then like on a ground board, he's just a ground unit. Like there's no grass flora when you're playing ground. So
Right, and it's not
uh,
that amazing of a ground unit, anyways. It's
yeah,
okay, but it's not. It's just synergy fill to me. A little bit of
yeah,
stats.
it has like basically an empty passive.
Yeah, its
Like if you
passive
read
is
the
nothing.
you read the passive, it doesn't say any words. But
Spike
I don't know.
armor is like one of the worst abilities in the game, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I mean you can
Uh,
do some funny things with spike armor, but
You
yeah,
can.
generally.
As far as like a unique or like our ultra go, I don't know.
Like I've seen like a Soldu Steelix get out of control, so I'm sure you can do some weird shenanigans with Soldu Maractus, but
Yeah, I've
I
seen
don't know.
it. And like it's a thing. Like I've lost to a Dynamax ban, Soldo
Mhm.
Maractus before. Like it's a thing, but it's not. It's so rare
Yeah.
to make it work and not just get punished for it.
Yeah. If we one day move the Tapus up to legendary, like to match lore, Maractus is my pick for the replacement of Grassfield. because its passive doesn't do anything. Like, it might as well just passive make
Yeah,
grass field.
yeah, that would be
So
cool.
yeah,
It might make it worthwhile for once.
yeah, because I guess the canon alternative grass field setter is Grookey, which is not going to be a unique. So we kind of have to make up our own rules for a unique that would set grass field. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Carnivine.
Carnivine is a ranged monster. That's got to count for something.
It does. That's about all it's got. Maybe here.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I of the grass floras, Tropius is my happiest.
Yeah,
Then
that's the one I go
Carnivine,
to
then
because it's
Maractus.
also
Yeah,
flying
yeah,
and then yeah, Carnivine the Mirac. Yeah, I would agree. Um,
that's fine.
Another
Have you got to
monster.
use Cramorant? Oh,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
that
we'll talk about it. Creamer. I
I
have.
haven't used it once. I've seen it. I've only seen it maybe once or twice.
It's not that great, but it is fun because you get to
Yeah,
launch a random Pikachu every once in a while, and
the like reading its tooltip, I'm just like, this is a 2 range 20 attack flying unit. Like, that's all I took away from it.
yeah,
Um,
it's got a fun ability, and it's not
yeah.
bad. Um, it, it's one I'd put maybe like here.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it's
That's a
decent, but
that's about the things next to it that I would consider.
yeah, it's one of those like it's fun. You can meme around with it, but it's not like the best mid game carry. It's not particularly amazing at flying, and you're never really playing aquatic, but it's
Okay.
decent. You can give it a water stone; it still works okay on that. And it's decent in flying in that you can pair it with Dratini and Lugia and stuff like that, and get aquatic 2 to 4. But
Okay. Yeah. Uh,
it's not
my impression was it was just going to be like fine flying, and then that's the only comp you like. That's the only realistic comp you're going to try it in.
yeah. Um, it could maybe be fun to try it in electric. I don't know, but it seems kind of weird.
I guess the summoned Pikachu's would get the
Triple
bonuses.
attacks, yeah, but it doesn't even seem worthwhile. Again, it's like a meme unit. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
decent meme unit. It's not this
Sure.
guy, but um, the Pikachu.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Blasi,
Uh.
Buffalo, best fire unique in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, if we put Torkoal way up there, like, it's up there with it.
I
um.
Well, I don't think Torkoal should be that high personally. Are you fine to
Yeah.
move that
Yeah.
down or no?
Yeah. We can move it down. It's been nerfed and had its ability changed. I think that's fine.
I would
Um.
I would personally put it here, but I mean here's fine.
Yeah,
I think Blast is
either way,
better.
I don't play enough ground to really be like appreciative of it in ground, and it's going to be better or more relevant in ground than fire, I think. So,
Definitely, yeah.
um, so if you put it after the Lotties, I wouldn't argue. I think that's probably fine.
Blast, I might put like right here, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
A little better than Scyther. Like this is the fire unique I want. Also the
Yeah,
solid ghost. Uh,
yeah,
that you
yeah.
definitely have to play it
The
right.
I would say Blasef is one of the fire
Let's
Pokemon that's
see.
most happy about the new fire shards.
Put it there. Yeah.
Because it's just such a strong outlet for just like you're rushing fire 8, you're trying to win streak, and now you're trading your health to make your Blacephalon like actually scale into the late game. I think it's one of the best places to put your fire shards right now.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
so
I mean, ranged fire unit at the end of the day.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's all you need.
yeah. You can give it Soldu or AP if you're desperate. By default, attack speed, it's happy. Like
Yeah.
it can do cool stuff. It's maybe one of the best amulet coin users in the game.
Oh yeah. I never give it AP personally. I just attack speed, amulet coin, maybe an attack
I
damage
don't
if I need
mind
it.
AP as the third item if I have attack speed amulet coin, just because it makes it more likely to get the finishing blow with its ability. But
I will say
hey,
like
it's
if I do AP, I do choice specs. I never do soul do on it.
yeah,
But I've
yeah,
done X-rays choice specs a few times on it. It's not terrible.
yeah.
Um, well, the monster.
So Viper, yeah.
Yeah. For me personally, it goes down here somewhere. But I like to hear your thoughts. I know people love this guy, so
I think he's very similar to Gliscor in that he's like a noob stomper because he's a poison monster. Like, you've got two traits that really take advantage of unprepared boards. I think there's a lot
Yeah,
of fun things you can do with it. Like I love giving it a dust stone. I think it's like not the worst thing to put a wide lens on.
yep.
But like if I'm being realistic about its power level, it's probably meh.
I think it's just below Shuckle, my boy.
Yeah, that's fine.
The turtle's better than the snake. Everyone knows this.
I probably play Survivor more than I should. Uh,
I like to
but
play it for fun, time to
yeah,
time. Usually with a wide lens, like you said, like
yeah,
wide lens upgrade mana scarf, just something dumb, and just.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not. It's not great.
It's really really powerful. Like turns 10 through 20, but it's so useless late game.
Yeah,
Um,
the
so
boy.
yeah. So like how are you trying to evaluate Kecleon? Because if like it's just
Oh,
all of his potential, he's probably S or A tier, right? Like there's
yeah,
like it enables baby 7. It's a good bug
that's the
flying
biggest
unit.
thing for me is Baby
Yeah,
Seven.
yeah.
Um,
It's really good. He's better than I mean Arceus doing 3 traits is obviously better, but like if you don't care about the third trait, I would say Kecleon's better than Arceus. Like his ability is kind of crazy.
yeah, because Arceus
Um,
also like if you give it bug, like its ability doesn't do anything, and
yeah,
there's some other weird stuff. Yeah, Kecleon, if with like a couple tank items, just never dies basically.
yeah. Like 2 tank
Um,
items and a Soul Dew. This thing like just doesn't die. It's scaling out of control. And yeah, it just enables so many crazy things. Like it's hard to list all of the stuff you can do with Kecleon, but I
'cause
think
it's
he's just
everything,
very
yeah.
good. Yeah,
But
he's very
especially
flexible.
for Baby Seven aspect, I
Yeah,
think it's the
and yeah,
best.
that's the biggest thing because you get to play Baby 7 and then switch into like any other strategy, and
Literally anything.
Kecleon is still relevant.
Yep. Steel Artificial or Dark
Yeah,
Psychic or Fighting Water, anything,
yeah.
Doesn't matter.
There's probably a few synergy combinations where like it's better than any of the uniques available of that combination.
Yep.
Um, so
Mm.
yeah, like you'd be happy if you see Kecleon.
All right. We have any
So
changes?
um, I feel pretty good about what we put in S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, do we like the
we
order? Are we seeing anything? Like, if you see something, just call it
yeah
out.
yeah. Let's see.
um, how do we feel about Stanley still being here? I feel like it might need to be bumped down. Maybe,
I mean, we called it Uber, but like if I go back in my head and say this is A tier, I think Stantler's an A tier unique. I think he's good.
yeah, that's fine. But I also think this guy's A tier, personally.
You can raise Gliscor. That's fine. That's fair.
Just because it's free ground, and poison
Yeah,
immunity. Um,
yeah,
I like this guy a lot. It feels weird not. I guess we have mini or I was gonna say it feels weird not to have a rock unit in Uber, but it
yeah.
feels weird not to have a
Um,
fossil up there. But it is what it is.
what would you is Relicanth your best fossil? Because I might say Draco's the best fossil.
It it depends what you're playing, but like if you're playing dragons, obviously Dracovish. But if I'm not, I really like Relicanth a lot. It just depends. But realistically, the best fossil is
It's Kecleon.
Kecleon, yeah. Or like Cobalion with the fossil stones. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's hard to say, but I think it's fine. Um, does any of this feel bad? Dread
Most
feels
of
low, but I also kind of want to do this just to make Kira mad.
yeah,
So,
I most of what I see in the solid tier are units that like they just all blur together in my head where I don't
right.
care about them. They just are a frontline thing that takes
They're
damage or
just
deals damage. They
e-
just exist.
exactly, yeah.
I guess like, Naganadel next to all of these things, I don't know, maybe Naganadel needs to be rated higher, but
Yeah, it does feel a little weird,
yeah, like it
but
is a powerful unit. It's just really inconsistent.
yeah, it's
So
hard to get. But I mean, we're putting like Sizer this high and stuff, so
yeah,
it
probably
makes sense
Naganadel
to
there
rate
too.
it a little higher, maybe like here ish,
Sure.
especially being dragon and two of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you put Keldeo higher? I don't know. I've
like, man, I kind of like Farfetch more than Miltank. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I think
Yeah.
his utility is more relevant usually.
Keldeo over the normal picks, probably.
he's like I said earlier, he's budget Regieleki. Like
Yeah,
and Aleki's one of the strongest uniques. So
I put him like, I guess I'll put him over Regice, but it
sure,
feels weird to have Regice this high though. Like it's super
yeah.
good unit, but I feel like
It's just because it's you literally can never use its like you're not playing ice or
yeah,
human. Like that's not a thing. You don't play that mid game. So
I feel like it needs to be more here.
sure,
But it's good to play with anything, but it's just not great.
yeah.
Should this guy go up at all, or
Uh,
I don't know. It's
uh
fine.
yeah.
It's
I
fine.
think it's fine.
Oh yeah, we forgot.
Yeah, Shuckled to the top.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
number one.
we maybe in a few months we can put Applin on this list in S tier, but for now, no biased votes from me.
I did. I'm not gonna lie. I
Um,
put this guy over all over these guys.
like,
The
are you
baby,
evaluating it because it can evolve or because it's good
just
on its
by
own?
itself, dude. Give this thing a
Really,
wide lens, and it'll print you money for like 10 rounds.
that might be true. That
it's
might be relevant.
there's some funny like Aqua Egg, Golding Ghost or Gimme Ghoul stuff where you can
Yeah,
just let it give you like 5 gold a round from casting its ability.
yeah. I have played around with like not trying to evolve and just printing money with it. It has potential, I suppose.
It's fun. It's goofy, but it's fun because you earn 2 gold every time you
Yeah,
cast at 90 PP.
yeah,
Uh, and it still has a good like damage because it's 20 plus your amount of money. So if you have like 70 gold, you're still doing 90, 90 special damage as
yeah.
a
I
two
think if you're
star.
slamming the mana item, you have to like waste time spending your money so you never evolve or you don't evolve as fast as possible. I don't know.
Yeah,
I,
I don't know. It's a
I
meme, but it's fun.
like Gimme Ghoul enough to if you put it there, I'm not going to argue. So
Yeah, I'll put it over Halucha. That thing sucks. I'll
okay,
put Manaphy
yeah,
over Halucha too. It's just
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
or
Halicia's
Fion.
rough.
I hate this thing.
Um, yeah,
Kangaskhan too. You can get over there.
yeah.
Are you good with
No,
this? I don't like
yeah,
these guys at all.
no arguments on that. I mean, like the awkward thing is, if we're talking about actual power level, like a Chingling probably is better than some of those Yikes units.
You're right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But so yeah, maybe the you should evolve it tier is really just Cosmog, Tyrogue, Cosmo, because those are like actually bad. Like you have to evolve them. So maybe we move Chingling up.
I put it like here because you just give it a
Yeah,
Nomicon and it'll still out
yeah,
damage
like
these
if it
guys.
has a Namicon and mana, you don't like if you don't actually care about
I mean, you should
the
evolve
scale.
this,
You
but
should. Chimek is really good, but if for whatever reason you can't evolve it, like it still has
still
that
okay.
underlying Namicon application. So
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's still free Loudred with Psychic. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, I think this is. I think this is okay. I feel like we're gonna get roasted a bit by Mr.
that's fine.
Krabs, but I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that works for me.
Um, but yeah, all right. Well, thank you. That's the tier list.